long fucking segment. Folks, hello. Hi, we're not late. We're a little bit early this time. And we actually have Allie Girl over here in the house. What's up? How you doing?
She's walking the dog.
Oh,
she's literally letting the dogs out.
She's taking a shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing. I don't think she's but anyways, people, like how we usually do, the show actually isn't started yet. I just want to get this up and going so I can see what everyone's doing over here in the YouTube chat. See, BBM's already there. Ruthless is already there. Awesome. He says, Nick, someone other than Rosita loves you.
Okay. I now play Midnight Chat in attack mode. That is some Yu-Gi-Oh! 2005 shit.
Oh, damn.
Penelope is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. Don't you dare assault her favorite franchise.
Birdman's actually new to the whole holding a bird thing.
No, it's just he decided to freak out. Oh.
Yeah, he's like, I'll fucking bitch on kick her fucking ass.
Oh, that's fine. If the bird doesn't calm down, I could talk to the audience myself. You gotta do some technical stuff at Mr. Diaz.
Exactly. Well, speaking of technical stuff, I actually had to go and do technical stuff as well as do things for my own voice. I get cough drops, gonna give me some wah-wahs, the whole fucking thing. But Ganja Guru, why don't you take over, let the good man that you are, like you always do, and I'll be right back.
Well, guys, of course, apparently I'm now the official host of the pre-shows, which is great, especially that, Birdman can't keep the bird calm. Penelope's going for the eyes, and I hope she doesn't take his eyelids with him. And, of course, Allie is walking the dog, like we said earlier. So with that said, guys, this is...
I'm right here.
Hey, who talked to you?
Everyone talked to me, but just in case people don't know, I actually do have more than one shirt.
Yeah, you got a white and a green one, sir. But guys, like,
I have a lot of shirts.
This is kind of like the unofficial Q&A session. So if you guys got any questions and answers that you want to hear in the chat, please let us know. I'm gonna be looking directly at the YouTube right now. It might be a little bit of a delay because you know how YouTube works, but I'll be paying attention and answering all your questions. And meanwhile, I've been having a fucking fun week. Kind of been a little bit boring in the sense that I didn't really get to do anything towards the end of the day. But I got back on Ark with all my buddies. We're playing that again. I have a fun time doing that. Rufus, I know you're playing Conan. I want to know your opinion between the two, if you could hop on Ark and see if there's a difference. Because me and 90s, we think it's just the same, except it has the Conan Barbarian license and the Dick Sweekin mod. So, and if it didn't have that, it would probably just be Ark's Part 2. What do you think, Alan, if you're back?
Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, it could be, but it could be like, whenever I see a clone of these kinds of games, they sometimes can do it better or worse. So I'd want to try it out just to see, but it's $50, so it's like, I can't really say it.
Ruthless, that is actually a great question to ask me right now because I can answer it. How many lights are there? All right, in my room right now, there are 3 lights, but I have 2 lamps.
What's your bathroom right now? It's like there's a fucking.
Oh, that's just Jesus taking a shit. All right, that's where that's coming from. But
no, what's the fucking steamed hams? It's like Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis at this time of year, localized entirely in your bathroom.
Yes. Can I see it?
Can I see
no.
it?
But what I was saying is I have like these Japanese style lamps that are like these kind of just hang down. They have the paper fan around it. And I've been so fucking lazy to go to Walmart. They actually hold 3 light bulbs. Only 1 works on each. And that's why it looks like somewhat dark in my room. Usually it's a lot brighter when I'm not lazy and actually go to the store and buy shit.
Yeah, for me, I have 2 lights. And I would show you, but I don't want to show you my Assassin's Creed wall because you guys will think I'm a Confederate. But I have the same kind of thing.
A broke black man's talking about, damn, so many lights are on, bro. Yo, that has been my... All right, I always hated lights off being as a kid. That was just something with me, man. So even as an adult now, I always turn lights off in certain parts of the house that I think get too dark. And to me, it's a safety feature. I have a little bit of a fear of the dark. Not too much that I can't sleep at night, but it's like, yo, man, if I'm about to walk to go get a cookie, I don't want to have to see like dark shit in the corner and shit if I don't have to.
I get what you mean. To answer the BN's question, what I think of the Arrowverse, I'll go down through show. I think Flash has been the worst that there's ever fucking been. Holy shit. I've never seen such a... Penelope, I know you like the Flash, but you gotta shut up. Anyway, I'll keep talking. Basically, yeah, the Flash has been the worst it's ever seen just because the villain has been so fucking lame. And they keep doing that smart man bullshit where he's so smart and nobody can figure out what his plan is because he's so smart. And I hate that fucking cliche. I swear to God, if I gotta hear one more villain say I'm 2 steps ahead of you, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Because they always say that shit. They always say that shit. Supergirl has been pretty good. It's been rocky, but the fight scenes have been kind of cool, and I like the development of some of the characters. Arrow's been the best it's been in a couple seasons. Fight scenes are incredible every fucking episode. And Legends of Tomorrow was pretty good, except for the fucking finale. I think the finale for every single show except for Arrow has been trash this year.
Right.
But yeah,
I actually gotta because right now we're talking about living by ourselves, and Backman's talking about like he doesn't like just lights off being for no reason either, so he'll turn some off apparently like me. So that's just I think that's just a safety thing to do because you don't want some motherfucker creeping in the corner one day you don't catch his ass. That's how I think. But like, Alan, you never lived alone, have you? Like you're still living with your parents because you went to uni, right?
Yeah, I never really lived alone, but I get that whole thing of keeping the lights on. Like, to me, I even have rules when it comes to the bathroom. I don't like leaving the bathroom closed because it throws me off. Because like when I look outside the hall, I want to know if someone's in there already, and if it's closed, I can't tell. But if it's slightly open, I know no one's been in there for a while.
Yeah, I know the problem, Alan. Especially when motherfuckers don't lock the door.
You know, if you knocked, we weren't in that situation.
Yeah, you closed the door. All you had to do was lock it. You were halfway through, man. You're like 50% completion. Like, this is all on you. Don't stop blaming me for that shit. It's not like I wanted.
This is all on you. If you knocked, you would have known.
Hey,
I knock all the time.
In America, we keep the doors closed if they're not occupied, not open. See, there's a difference in customs here.
Yeah, but you also have to knock a little bit, man. You can't get over the fact that you just barged in there like a barbarian.
I didn't barge in there. I walked in there, sir.
You barged in there. If you opened the door slightly, I would have had a moment. You just kind of got in there.
You making it sound like I kicked down that door like that one movie they talk about on DoubleToast.com where the son rapes the dad?
What?
You never seen that shit?
No, I've never even heard. We're not watching that fucking movie.
We are. I think it's only like an hour and 20 minutes. We're watching.
Last time you said that we watched Rented, it was 2 hours.
Hey, I lie a little bit, but it's for the people.
I'm back, guys. I was just my door was locked, and I was trying to unlock it just to kind of like do something for Alan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a joke. It wasn't a good one, but it was still a joke. I mean, it still counts, right? Really quick. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I keep talking over you. My bad. But I gotta talk about something really quick. Ruthless in the chat saying Art's combat was terrible. Conan, on the other hand, was a meaty weight to the combat. Yeah, meaty weight, huh? Over here talking about their dicks swinging and everything. That's why you like it, Ruthless. Don't fucking lie to us. God damn it.
Yeah, but Nick in the background says he always wants to try it out. So.
Yeah, I always want to try it out.
He literally called out that you're gonna make a dick joke about that. He's like, slow something about Johnson's.
Exactly.
But. Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm curious. What is the combat in? Because we were talking about the whole idea of clones, and it's like we see that a lot. And the thing is, the benefit of clones is sometimes they can make it work better. Or like what I was saying with console ports, like I want to try Arc on console because I'm pretty sure they fixed a lot of the problems that I still see in the PC to this day. I still don't think that game's particularly well optimized. And it doesn't have a VSync feature for some fucking reason, so I'm curious what the console is. But with Conan Exiles, I'm like, what are they doing that's different? Because this genre is like played to death. So I'm like, having a good combat system, because the combat system in Ark is just swing it until it dies or stab it till it dies. There's not really much to it. So I'm curious, is there like an actual combat system to the game?
Well, there's a combat system in Ark, but you got to get like all the advanced weaponry, and at that point, most people are just gonna come swing at you wildly.
Yeah, it's just swinging at wildly. I'm not saying that's like, the worst part and Ark sucks because of it, but it's just like. If you're telling me that there's a game that's similar to Ark but with a good combat system, I'm curious now.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, I do think Ruthless likes harder games in general too. I think maybe that's something that probably is added with the Conan Exiles thing because Ruthless loved the fuck out Monster Hunter, man. Like it was funny because I played right before he did. And he was like, dude, I'm gonna get on that Monster Hunter, man. I can't wait. And then like the first time I ever played with him was like a week or 2 weeks afterwards. And he was so above anything I've ever done. I was like, damn, dude, like hero rank 20. And him telling me how to like capture these fucking animals, getting irritated with me and my bad fucking skills. Like Ruthless likes to go all in his video games.
So you're telling me Ruthless likes to get Ruthless?
Lord.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
Great. I wondered where you got that joke from.
The thing about games like there's a lot of similarity between Monster Hunter and Ark and those kinds and Conan and those kinds of games. Because I think what it is he likes a lot of games where it's like there's a lot of subtlety to the game that it never talks to you about. Because when you think about Ark, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of building, there's a lot of capturing and taming. With Monster, there's a lot of stuff like that where you gather resources, build up better weapons, capture bigger monsters, and work together with people. It's very similar. So that's why I'm not surprised that we've been playing with a few people that we know like Monster Hunter and just immediately are just getting into Ark with no fucking problem at all. That's why I'm not surprised that's why it makes more sense that you like Monster Hunter, because there's a lot of gathering in there. There's a lot of like prepping up to deal with shit, and you find monsters all the fucking time in Ark anyway.
Yeah, and I love the looting. Well. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna make a dumb joke. Continue.
Oh no, I was gonna say I love the looting, and then you can make a joke off that. Like, of course you do. You're Mexican. You like looting shit.
No. Only if you're stealing copper.
Oh, you fucking son of a bitch. Anyways, I'm never
So
telling.
so what's better,
Don't tell
his joke
Ganja
at
what
East
you do
Philly
for a living,
Comfort or
folks.
a Corona? which is less annoying?
No, I don't know. I mean, you both are absolutely insanely racist, but it's okay. I'm just kidding. They're both not racist at all.
What? Next time I'll get me a taco pin and I'll try to blend into your society more and more.
Exactly,
I think I might punch you for that one.
No, that's the thing. There's the people within our community, within our ranks, that actually do wear a fucking taco symbol on
Within
their
our
hat.
ranks of Mexicans.
Yeah, not from our ranks of Mexicans. I mean the podcasters, you fuck. God damn it.
Actually, I'm curious.
No real Mexican that's not self-hating puts a fucking taco on their hat and then walks around like, oh, isn't this funny, guys? Fucking stupid. You guy, you know who you are.
I almost want to ask this question, but people don't think I'm Arab. I'm curious how many Arabs are in the DT community.
How many will wear falafel hats?
Oh god, I wouldn't even want to wear one of those.
No, the thing is though, like, there's actually a lot of people that overseas that are into the DT community. I mean, there's people that talk with a bunch of fucked up English. You know, a bunch of those guys, and I love them.
Lord,
I'm sorry, but no, but people like there is a lot of people like overseas that don't have a whole lot of shit, but yet they're able to afford a double toasted membership a month. So I guess they're doing what they.
I thought you were going to say adult membership. What is this, a porn site?
No, I'm going to say double toast and that fucked up. God damn.
well, you know, if you think of it like this, a lot of places it's like we're in America, we're used to having cable and all this shit, and the internet as well. It's like over the seas, like when I went there, this is like a long fucking time ago. You either had like they had cable and people lived in like 10 people per huge house because they had huge houses. Not that they were rich, but like that was every single house was this huge place because 10, 15, 20 people would live in it. So it's like it would make sense to me that they have one internet connection, and then somebody's like, yeah, I'm making a couple extra bucks, so I have my own personal TT. So it's like they probably don't have. A lot of people probably don't have cable and internet. They have one or the other.
Yeah, over here, Kirk Lazarus saying he's Puerto Rican, so he'll wear a taco hat. I'm actually Puerto Rican too, and that's why I wear a poverty bracelet. So it's awesome. But anyways,
Tacos are delicious.
What would be the stereotypical food for Puerto Ricans? Plantains? No, because Cubans got
Yeah.
those.
I don't know, sewer water right now because fucking.
No. Despite your jokes, I think plantains would be that because I know a buddy of mine used to be Puerto Rican. And he used to eat that shit all the time.
Used to be. What happened?
Sorry, I used to have a friend. That's what I meant. I used to have a friend. There we go.
He ain't your friend anymore at the comments like that. No, but the thing is though, I think one of the things that's going to be stereotypical for Puerto Ricans at this point now is just them hating Donald Trump because of the fact that like our president won't do shit to help them out. Man, I'm telling you, there's times where I don't give a fuck about people's problems, and I'm not a person that's like, oh, because Mexicans, we gotta stick together and I gotta go and like care about their problems. But the thing is, dude, man, I watched a bunch of videos about what they're going through, especially watching like Carlos from Double Toasted, the fan is always sitting down making all the fucking noise. When he told his story with Felix in an interview, like that shit was like heart wrenching, man. Like, I'm not a person who actually gives a fuck about that type of stuff, but like to hear the stories going on, it's like, you know what, man? Like, I hope Puerto Rico comes back and does some big shit one day, which they won't. But hey, someone's got to
take over the United States.
No, that's too big. That's too big.
Like Puerto Rico right now is like Alan when he's playing Civilization against Ganja. Like, you know what I mean?
No, man. Puerto Rico
never let that go.
Alan at least has a chance. Puerto Rico never had a chance.
Motherfucker.
Puerto Rico's like one of those AIs that got stuck in like the old school days and shit that I just wiped out with the advanced troops because I could.
No, like,
I want to talk about this on the show. So, Ganja's the pettiest bitch in the world. If you are playing against him and you somehow get a little bit ahead, he will like be the most petty motherfucker in the world. We were playing one time and I was Britain and he was I think he was France and I had the English channel.
Oh.
And he assumed because I suck at RTSs that he was going to beat me. So he gets ready, he declares war. I have a bunch of ships and I'm holding it. Like he cannot get past my fucking brigade. We go on for 15 minutes of war. I'm just like, I have ships on ships keep coming in. He keeps blowing them up. I got 3 more to replace it. He gets to the point where he's like, man, I can't do this anymore. And he surrenders. And you can see he goes quiet for like 20 minutes. Doesn't say shit.
Really? I've never seen this
mad,
interview.
It was way longer than 20 minutes.
Because
I've
he's
never
planning
seen
his
the
next
side of him.
attack.
Yeah, I've
No.
never seen the side of it. That's amazing.
You remember what I did to you though, right, bitch? I made a bunch of airplanes and just fucking.
So this motherfucker here, since I barely know how to play the game and I've never gotten this far, we get to the I think it's industrial age and we get airplanes. I've never been this far. I've never played the game. So I'm like, hey Ganja, how do planes work? I'm like, planes. You could do this. I'm like, I don't understand. It's like, no. You just like, I don't understand. 10 minutes later, like All of my ships are being attacked by fucking planes. I'm losing cities and shit like that. I don't even know how planes work. I got one in the air, shot down immediately. And it's like 15 minutes or something. I'm like, okay, fine, I fucking give up. I'm glad you finally beat someone that's experienced planes once.
Jesus Christ, man.
It was like we were slapboxing Nick, and then he got like too hard of a slap, and I just went, "Okay, bitch, ready, right?" Bah!
I know, I did not the fuck out.
The better way to sum it up. Remember Force Awakens when Finn gets the lightsaber and he's fighting Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren's kind of playing around with him, but then Finn gets that one little hit on the shoulder, and then Kylo Ren just fucking kills him.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened.
But before we continue on, because I know we'll end up telling all of our stories in that sense, but really quick, I just see that one of our last final co-hosts over here that was getting ready and everything, she's here. Hello, Allie.
Hello.
Getting ready for the Oscars.
No, yeah, she's just like, I want to thank my mom for not making my friends go away because they cuss too goddamn much. The whole goddamn thing.
I want to thank my mom for not kicking me off this show and dragging me into a mental home for hanging out with these people.
Well, she's never watched the show, so...
And I also want to thank your mom too. I want to thank her for not karateing me when I tell her to cuss and all that bullshit too. You know, like apparently she can jiu-jitsu my ass, whatever the fuck she knows. So
Karate.
Very, very good. What is it? Karate or?
You were right. Karate.
Karate.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought it was like Taekwondo or something. I don't know.
Well, I know Taekwondo.
Oh shit! I know Kung Fu.
I know crazy.
I know Shangri-La. Anyways, moving on. That's not a thing, by the way. It's just a place.
It's a bar in Austin, but okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
that place is great. That place didn't check ID after a while.
Oh, I thought it was just Call of Duty DLC.
Alan, you never say that about a good place.
Oh, like anybody here is gonna immediately fly down to Austin and find a random hole-in-the-wall bar.
Oh, by the way, apparently Allie is I guess the nerdum is in the air tonight. Justin's like, I really want to talk to you about Solo, Allie. I really want to talk to you. Fuck Ganja, fuck Nick, fuck Alan, but Allie.
I'm already getting fights. I'm already getting into fights about Solo on Children of the Toast, man.
Oh.
Oh wait. Oh, have you already started with Justin?
No, not with Justin. It's not with other people, but it's just like it was on Justin's thread. So I was talking to people because people are like, "Yo, it adds so much to the universe." I'm like, "No, it doesn't." This might be a spoiler for early in the review, but it really adds nothing to the fucking Star Wars mythos.
Oh man. So wait, are you trying to say it's a Star Wars movie? No. So speaking of that.
Like, yeah.
Well, really quick, before you even get started, too, just so you guys know, we're going to be saving it for the end, but we are talking spoilers for Solo, because I'm not talking about the shit more than once, y'all. Like, nah. I can only take so much fucking...
He doesn't respect the Star Wars.
Yeah, the whole fucking thing. No way. But, anyways, moving on. It's time to do that thing. It's time to attack that chat. So, once again, people, you know how it is. Well, actually, matter of fact, no, we're not even pre-show anymore. Click, take that shit off of there, and here we go. And that 3, and on that 2, and on that 1... Ganja, tap the chat. Oh, snap. That's too fucking loud, by the way. Jesus. No, it is that time.
Yes, it's loud.
No, it's so loud. But here's the thing, though. The buildings are orange, and I got nothing for that. I don't know. It's fucking, they're orange, and it's weird, and I don't know.
Let me try. Buildings are orange. No. The trees are yellow. The grass is green. I'm lost.
Yeah.
Jesus. I can't tell if you tried.
The celebrities
or
are perverted.
Halfway through.
I tried when I got to grass was green, and then my mom was like, "You ain't got nothing. Abort."
I know. Actually, what you did, you got distracted by the green grass. Like, oh wait, grass, green, weed. Do I want to start right now?
I didn't take my 5-minute break real quick, Nick.
Exactly. No, not again, motherfucker. No. But, people, yes, we're officially now. This is the actual show. I know that you guys got a long pre-show of us talking a lot about, Ganja being a bitch when he loses to Alan in fucking video games. We got Allie over here. Justin wanting to talk to her about Solo because they probably agree with each other. You got me hating fucking Star Wars because. Welcome, it's another day. But yeah, we got quite a bit of a show for you guys today. Nerdum and fucking perversion all over the goddamn place. And if you guys want to get into the call and hang out with us, you can do that by asking one of us for a link to the Hangouts call and all that good stuff. But before we get into that, Allie, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Really?
So fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because that was a fake-ass fine.
Oh, Tinder drama.
Oh, Tinder drama. You just come back from one? You're dressed like you're about to go to the Oscars like fucking Alan said earlier.
Oh, well, it's just, I got a new sweater. I like it.
We're not making fun of you. We're complimenting you.
Well, hopefully you don't like attract any weirdos from fucking Tinder with the sleeves not showing, etc.
No. She can't help it. But that's like her focal point. She just like attracts weirdos and people that are just awkward.
They don't do it on purpose. Like the people seem cool at first and different, so I'm just like, okay, and then
I love that. You know,
they're really clingy.
You know, so do perverted fucking ice cream truck people. When
I noticed a trend that I keep like matching with people who are like European, like from Germany or from Spain, and I've noticed. Oh, okay, so I guess a lot of Europeans are very clingy.
Yeah.
Not saying all of them are like that, but at least the ones I've met.
Yeah, it's just like what people say about Donald Trump. It's like, you know, like they're all weird, clingy people, but some of them are cool.
Okay,
I completely agree with
like,
that.
how are you gonna connect those two?
I found some fucking way. I think what it really is, honestly, it's Tinder. You know, it's not. It's one of those things people don't want to like talk shit about other people doing certain things, etc. I'm telling you, I don't like Tinder, and I don't like the dudes on Tinder. Maybe the girls, whatever the fuck, I don't know. Maybe it's because I am a dude. God just smiling like, yeah, I know why, motherfucker. Like,
lying ass. But okay.
But no, like. The thing is like, and Chad, here's the thing. We're going to help Allie here. Because Allie is so innocent that she thinks that there's people just want to be friends. People want to go make movies, play video games.
I'm not innocent. I'm not, like, completely naive. Like, I've been taught well by my parents and even by y'all. Just hanging around guys all the time. Like, you learn a lot of stuff. But, okay, so... Okay, go ahead and spill this tea. Shall I go and spill the tea?
Yeah, spill all over the floor.
What happened? Okay, so
sure.
God, I didn't tell either of these guys what the show, like, what's the name of the show? So it's not like they can view it and be like, oh my God, she's talking about me. I did very well. Okay.
I did very well.
I did very well not to say, like, right off the bat.
You did the anti-plug. I do nothing.
You know, it's like telling someone where you work. It's like, you don't do that unless, you know. Yeah,
that's a series.
Thing. So, all right. So this first guy that I went out with. Okay, so I went out with him for 3 dates, all right? Just three.
That's a lot, boy. Don't say just. That's a lot.
That's not really.
It kind of is. After 2, you're like, yeah, I'm thinking.
But by second date, I'm buying your ass a big, expensive teddy bear. So, like, third date, this is important.
I thought there was hope. Okay. I didn't necessarily like. Okay, so like when I first met him, the guy was pretty handsome. You know, like he's half German, half Jamaican. You know, has these really nice blue eyes. But you know, he's a little on the short side. You know, some kind of like if I wear heels, that's it. I'm an Amazon.
A little on the short side, he was 5'11".
I like how she just left right now too. Like, in fact,
Allie, continue your story. You just went in and out, but I just want to point out, how is the dude short if he's Jamaican and German? But continue.
Yeah,
it's Allie. Have you met her?
Apparently, there are short Jamaicans and Germans around because he definitely was like probably 5'8". I feel, and I'm 5'9".
It makes me so mad right now.
Yeah, by the way, excuse me, but I'm fucking 5'10", so don't be like, oh, 5'8's too small. Like, okay, so what, am I fucking small?
Wait, aren't you 6 foot? Because you're the same height as me, Nick.
You're about the same height.
I don't know how fucking tall I am. I'm just talking shit, Ganja. Nothing I say is true. Do you understand?
It's true when I'm snitching you out, apparently.
How am I a heightist? I just said that the height doesn't matter.
Because you wear high heels and you're tall.
No, and by the way, you said with the voice, you're like, okay, well, first of all, he's a little bit on the short side, you know. And I don't think you mean his dick. So I will
be honest. I would prefer a guy that is taller than me, just because of in heels. Yes, let's get that right.
Good luck with that.
There are a lot of guys that are tall, you know, even with me in heels. But either way, I overlooked that because we really connected. Like we really. We talked for, you know, a couple of days on Tinder, and, like, he wasn't just, like, average, like, hey, how's it going? I'm good, how are you? Cool. What do you like? Oh, you know, stuff. Like, it wasn't like that. I feel like that's most of the conversations I get on Tinder. And he was, like, actually asking a lot of stuff about, like, you know, I guess it was very much more, like, cultured and, like, talked about politics and world issues, like, much
very
more
erotic.
Okay, but anyway, so anyway, we go to the first date, and he loves hanging out by the pool. I learned this very early on. Like he loves swimming. He loves just hanging out.
You like peaches a lot?
We hung out by the pool the first day, but it was like at 9 at night. I was almost not gonna meet him because he wouldn't give me the address until the last minute, and my mom was like, "Red flag! Why is he giving you why is he waiting so long to give you an address?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. You're kind of right, Ma." And then then he gave it to me. He's like, "Well, because I was about to get out of it. Like, well, it's late. I kind of have to work in the morning, so maybe another day." And he's like, "Well, I thought we had something, but I guess I'm kind of starting to have my doubts." And this is after technically I had said that I was busy these other times, which I genuinely was. So, but either way, I was like, okay, well, let me first show him I'm not a catfish, because that's what, I've been watching that show religiously. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be that person who this person thinks is a catfish. But either way, we meet. We have actually a really nice time. He's not trying to do anything. He's very respectful. And again, we had a really deep conversations. It really went well. So we get to the, I have to go. My mom and I went out of town. My mom and I went out of town, and we were talking a little bit throughout the weekend. And he asked one night, "Hey, can I call you?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm about to go to bed." Blah blah blah. So I get back home, and then he tries calling me as I'm getting home from work when I'm closing. So it's around 9:30, 45-ish. And he calls me, and I can't pick up his call because, we're closing and everything. And so I get home, and, he's like, "Hey, can I call you?" And I was like, sure, why not? And he's like, "Well, okay, I'm watching the game with my boys, so afterwards, then blah, blah, blah." So I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
That's a fuck boiler, by the way, too. Me and my boys. Yeah,
I'm
gonna get drunk, Alan. You ready to get fucked up, bro? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
so anyway, we talked to the phone, and it was kind of a conversation. He's like, "Hey, how was your day? Was your trip good or whatever?" Stuff like that. And it was kind of brief. Got a little bit awkward just because I'm awkward on the phone, and then he was kind of awkward on the phone. But anyway, we got together for the second date, and we went out into the city, of Charlotte, so uptown Charlotte.
Yeah.
We went to the main place where people my age kind of hang out. It's called the Epicenter. So there's just a bunch of restaurants and clubs and bars, all in one area uptown. So we met there, and before that, a lot of guys were looking at me really weird. I was texting the guys the whole entire time. I was like, "Oh, this is really weird," because I was just by myself because I got there early.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry. I know I keep interrupting, but wait, you were texting him while he was hanging out with you right next to you?
No. I was texting you guys.
Oh, okay. What to say? What the fuck?
They're keeping away from each other text messages.
But yeah, because I was looking I was trying to act like I was busy because I didn't want guys to keep approaching me. And some guy asked me "Hey, where's the party at?" I'm like, "What party? what are you talking about? You look like I'm going to a party or something?"
I gotta use the one. He was dumb
Where's the
enough.
party at?
My favorite was I was actually telling you to try to go
It was
with
so
them.
funny. I literally just got out of my car from parking, and this guy literally is driving in the parking garage, and he sees me. He stops dead in his tracks, and he's like, "Where the party at?" I'm just like, huh?
He didn't throw out a random address.
I told you what you should have done. Hop in the car and go to the party.
Okay.
Leave our fucking car there?
Yeah. And it's not her gas she's using to go to the party.
True that.
Yeah, well, anyway, so I get to the place early, and he's not there. And I have to wait literally 10 to 15 minutes for him to show up. Apparently there was some construction happening. And
don't be like that. There was probably some construction. Come on.
There actually was construction. Let me not be
what the fuck with the
because there really
quotes?
was. But he was late 15 minutes. He said 9:45. Okay, I like to be punctual. I'll give him leeway, maybe 5 minutes. It was 15 minutes. I was standing there looking awkward for a whole 15 minutes by myself, getting approached by weirdos, and I was just I can't do anything. I don't know where to go because I don't go there often. But anyway, he showed up, and as he was walking towards me, I noticed there was something in his fingers, and it was a cigarette. And y'all, maybe some of y'all smoke in the chat. I don't know, but I don't do smokers. Like, I hate cigarette smoke.
Oh yeah, phrasing. Damn.
I can deal with weed. I can deal with marijuana. I can, but just cigarette smoke literally makes me sick. I can't help it. Like, I can't be around it. Like, I literally had to leave the Double Toasted party in New York because, like, so many people were smoking outside that all the smoke came inside the building. And I had to literally leave, and
I'm glad that was the case, by the way, too, because I thought it was actually Ray's music that was making you sick. So I was like, just close your ears, close your ears.
Oh, no.
I like Ray's backpack rap.
Yeah, that was a genre that Jack gave them.
Oh, no. But anyway, I was like, oh, no, this is, shoot, I can't even get out of this now. Like, yeah. I don't know what to do. But anyway, so we go to get something to eat, and then we go to, like, this rooftop bar, and we just like, you know, he buys me a drink. He did pay for the dinner. Let me first say that. Like, he's a gentleman, opened the door for me, paid for my meal, paid for my drink. Like, he was very, very nice. Like, I even offered, but, you know, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so we get to the rooftop bar, we're just talking, and he kind of, I feel like he's very anxious around me. Like, I feel like he's very nervous, and I could see that he really, really likes me. Like, he's like, I don't really, like, react this way. He's usually, like, the one that's, like, very outgoing and kind of crazy in a way. But he's very, like, reserved around me. And so, like, I thought that was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cute, whatever. And so I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot or whatever. And I just noticed, though, that, like, as he was getting more anxious and nervous, the more he smoked. And I just had to be, like, honest. Like, I told him, I was like, I don't really like it when people smoke.
I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, the wind was blowing the opposite way. So he was trying to, like, not smoke in my face or whatever.
I hate when people do that shit. Ganja does that shit to me too. With the
I was gonna say, I wish Ganja do that shit.
Yeah. No, dude, we're in Times Square and we're walking through, and I'm like, dude, that shit smells like fucking taint. And you're like, oh, seriously, that's interesting. And you smoke it, and the wind's blowing it right in my face. Like, I'm like, dude, just give me so I can take a fucking hit.
And I'm right beside you. I'm like trying to fucking go behind you so you can take the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
friends.
No, I'm laughing my ass off because Kurt, man, you fucked up for this, Kurt. You know how you said he was late, Allie?
Oh, well, shit,
he said he was tucking in his kids.
Yeah, that's why he was late. He was busy taking in his kids.
They was fucking with that because I thought Kurt's like, he has a wife that works late.
Nah, he's not. He doesn't have any kids. He doesn't have a wife. Like, he's a year older than me, so he's 23. He goes to school at the university, so it's like.
I thought you could say high school. Right. He still hasn't graduated. He's a good guy.
Yes, exactly.
He just got out of middle school.
High school. You got some questions. We got some questions for you.
No, yeah, but anyway, so he was smoking like probably a total of 6 cigarettes the whole time I was with him that night.
Christ.
Yeah, he literally went through cigarettes like water. I was just like, damn, this is gonna be a problem.
Well, he has a lot of money to expend.
A lot of money, yeah, and so
I can't comment about smoking addictions.
Did you drink a bottle of Vaseline?
No, but at least weed is not going to affect your overall health, you know, like lung cancer or whatever, you know. But anyway, so I will say that we had a very nice conversation, and like we stayed out until like about 12 or something like that. Like it was nice. It was a nice time. But anyway, you know, we said goodbye, whatever. And so, when we were on the date, he told me that when he tried to call me that night, he admitted, like, yeah, I was drunk out of my mind. I was like, oh.
That's something you just casually admit.
I've been drinking.
Yeah. If anything, I'll say this. He was very truthful about everything.
He was drunk, I'm sure.
Like, he even told me kind of a little bit about, like, his past. Like, you know, he was born in Germany, and he lived there until he was 8, and then, you know, his mother brought him here to America, and whatever. And he kind of said,
that he committed.
no, but like he said, kind of like, you know, he kind of had to take care of his family in a way, almost like the breadwinner in a way. Like his mother worked, but he also had to. and everything like that, which I felt like, oh, well, you know, it's admirable, and he really wants to do, like, he really want to make change in the world. He's enlisting into the military, and he really wants to try to, like, create, like, to go over to other countries and really try to make equal rights for everyone and stuff like that. But don't like, well, you know, this guy's a good dude. It's not like he has his priorities straight. He knows what he wants to do, and everything. So it's like it's not like he's not doing anything. But yeah, I could just tell that I feel like being here in this country kind of, in a way, changed him. Or being actually in the city, he said, kind of changed him. Like, he has a much more of, like, don't give a fuck attitude.
Wait, well, okay, how are you gonna, like, not build
Yeah,
the
that's
fuck?
what he said to me. That's what he said. Like, he was just like, yeah, kind of, like, trying to get more, like, he's still very spiritual and all of that, and he's trying to make his life better, but he's just, like, he went through this phase of where he just didn't care about anything, and I was just like, well, you know, again, truthful. You know, he's laying it all out on the cards on the table right here.
Yeah, let me ask you really quick. Is she fitting so many stereotypes right now? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be a dick.
I know.
But, like, dude.
I'm really bad at explaining, but, like, the dude actually is a good dude. It's not, like, trying to get his life together, you know, in a way. But ultimately, the third date happened. We had a good time. We went bowling. You know, got dinner. I paid this time.
Positive.
I know. No, I mean, hey, it's a date, like, bowling. Whatever.
Even when you told me that, I was like, that's lame.
Man, okay. Bowling is not a lame
Well,
date.
I didn't have anything better, and he had the idea. I was like, sure, why not?
I both suck.
The God just doesn't like fun.
But,
lame.
well, you know what? I'm not much of a bowling person either, but I was just like, well, you know, maybe it'll be fun or whatever. And so, yeah, you know, like, we went out again to eat and walked around, and he talked more about stuff or whatever. And then, yeah, we went bowling, and then, yeah, here's where I messed up in a way. Because he said, like, hey, you know, would you like to, does my mom know this channel? I'm trying to think. But, so
she doesn't.
No. Well, anyway, he was smoking a lot, still a lot more. And, like, he even brought, like, nicotine, little things that you chew. I have no idea what it's called.
It was weird.
Yeah, but yeah, he was trying not to smoke around me because he knows that I don't like it. And he said, here's the thing. So after we did that, we kind of briefly, I went, why did I do this? I'm looking back at this and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to say this. Like, people are gonna look at me weird.
Say it.
You got this far.
Say it.
No, because he said, oh, you want to just, like, because I already saw his apartment complex from, like, the main.
Oh, damn.
So we went there and we hung out and whatever, and just, like, watched TV. Nothing happened or whatever.
1 or 2 fingers on.
No fingers.
Jesus
But
Christ.
that was at the point that I realized I could not do this because I started seeing kind of like another side. Like, he was just kind of, he told me that he didn't want to, you know, bring me up to his place, his apartment, whatever, because his other roommates, like, would do drugs and stuff like that, and he didn't want me around that. I'm like, so you don't care that you're around, like, people who, I don't know, do coke or whatever? Or I'm like,
wow, I can't judge this dude at all.
No, I gotta take one break. Really
yeah,
quick,
if anything.
No,
What? Okay.
Raheem says the dumbest shit ever. He always is fucking weird, right? But he called this shit. I swear to God, 2 minutes ago he says, this dude sounds like a coke addict. And I was like, man, I was about to make fun of him. Like, Raheem, you're fucking stupid, dude, whatever. Raheem, right on the money, dude.
Okay,
right on
to
the
be
fucking
fair,
money.
Don't know if he's a coke addict yet.
You know, honestly,
So yeah, never mind. He was right.
I just
But
played my
at this
Xbox.
point, I don't know if I trust that he actually doesn't do it. So I was just like, okay, there's this whole other life of him that he's trying to hide from me. And the more that I'm seeing him, the more that I'm starting to learn more about it, and I do not like it. And so yeah, at that point, I realized, like, he tried to put his arm around me and stuff, and I was like, sure, why not? No, we didn't kiss or anything like that. At that point, I was like, I smelled too much of the cigarette smoke, along with the Nicorette gum or whatever. like I think what Rufus said, like along with that mixed in with his really strong cologne. So he's probably wearing that to mask the smell of the cigarettes. And I just was so sick the next day. Like I got back home and I was just like shaky. I was just like, I felt really sick. I couldn't even I can't really explain how sick I felt, but I did not feel good. And it lasted, and my breathing was irregular. I could just tell being around this dude is not going to be good for, I think just a good relationship, but also just not good for my health. And so, but anyway, I didn't talk to him, for maybe, a day or two. And my friend, my ex-coworker, she invited me out to go out uptown or whatever to just hang out with her friends. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went out around 11, and around 12, I was hanging out with my friend, and this dude calls me, and I was like, okay, I guess he wants to talk to me, whatever. I noticed now my phone is ringing nonstop, for a good maybe 4 minutes, and I'm just like, what is going on? And I look, and he tries to call me in a row 4 times. In a span of 4 minutes, 2 or 4 minutes. I'm like, are you serious? Is this dude seriously trying to, is he serious? He must be drunk, because midnight, trying to call me 4 times in a row, I was just like, he must be drunk again. And at that point, I really realized this dude is not for me, because I do not put up with that crap of guys calling me in the middle of the night, even if I'm out, even if I'm awake. They don't call me that many times in a row. In the middle of the night like that. That's just completely inappropriate.
Or call her at night.
Especially if we just met and we still we just hung out 3 times. No.
One thing to bring up too, by the way, is that she's cool with us doing it because we have the Google Hangouts call that we all talk to in, and that shit goes from I don't care what time of night or day, 2 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we're all best friends. We've known each other now for how many, 3 years or something? Yeah. So it's we know basically almost everything about each other, and again, we always hang out.
Too much.
Too much, really. But either way, we're all very familiar with each other. Not a dude I just met on Tinder a week ago.
True.
And this dude's calling me nonstop like that. I was like, this is just so weird. And then, so the next day,
Allie, get to the Snapchat, please.
Oh no, I'm getting there. Okay, I'm getting there. Anyway, the next day, he texts me, "What up?" or "What's up?" or whatever like that. And I'm like, or hey. I was just like, I didn't even say hey back. I was just like, what was with the phone calls the other night? And he said, "Oh, I just really wanted to talk to you." And I was like, "Don't you think four phone calls in a row is a little excessive?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, I just wanted to hear your voice or whatever." And I'm just like, "Were you drinking?" And he was like, "Well, nah, I was with the boys. I just had 2 beers." I was just like, bullshit. No way. Even if he was telling this truth, it's still really not okay for him to call me.
If you put a number to the amount of drinks you had and it's more than 1, you're lying. That's more than 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, only 2 beers, my ass.
Just admit that you're just an alcoholic. That's why I do. Everyone just finds it funny.
Yeah. But anyway, at that point, I was just like, look, I thought we had fun together or whatever, but I just don't think that this is going to work out. Good luck to you or whatever. I don't see this happening, a potential relationship. I don't feel like it's. I was very, very direct, and I just said I don't want to see each other anymore. It felt like the way I was saying it was breaking up with someone. He made it seem like we were already in a relationship, and so I feel like I had to be very specific with what I wrote. But
oh no, Al, you were direct with that. I
was
don't want to interrupt your story, but do you know the amount of shit we went through to get you to get that conversation?
Yeah, I was so nerve-wracking because I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be mean to this guy because he is nice and all of that. I literally went through 3 drafts of the message I wrote.
Man, and how many times
literally called us all in.
Everyone was Alan was proofreading it. My mom proofread it,
and
read it, everything.
How desperate Allie was to have somebody help her that she had Alan proofread this
Okay,
shit.
when we say proofread, because Nick's always an asshole, basically what was happening is she's like, I don't know how to say this guy. So every one of us was like, yo, we're good. Here's what you say. Here's what you say. I got to the point where I just I just randomly wrote some words down, sent her, was like, well, that's too dark. Or I literally just said, hey, we can't do this anymore, yada yada. Just send it to him. Yeah, we'll send you the fucking thing. And then she goes to everybody. Like, at this point, we have like 8 people on this fucking call trying to get her to figure out how to
I've never been through this before, okay? I didn't know what the proper protocol or like what I should say. So I was just like, I was taking my time to make sure that it just didn't come off like very mean, but at the same time, very like, how could you not understand what I am saying? So anyway, it was very direct. Like, all of y'all know, you read it. Like, I didn't want anything else to do with this guy, right? So then he gets back to me and says, well, like, I think at where we are at in our lives right now, it's not the right time. Maybe in the future, again, if it's meant to be, we'll meet up again. And I'm just like, I'm glad you understand. I didn't say yes or whatever. I just like, I'm glad you understand. And I didn't say anything else. And so literally like several days go by, don't hear anything from him. I'm just like, all right, living my life. Yes. And then all of a sudden I get this snap from him the other night at like 10 p.m. And I'm just like, oh no. I'm expecting the worst. I'm expecting him to be super drunk and either he's going to yell at me or he's just going to like, I don't know what I was expecting. But I was expecting like a drunk snap.
I was on the side of Dick.
Yeah, honestly, I was on the side of him too. Yeah. I'm sorry. Hey, me being honest with you and being your friend and everything, I was like,
that was I was worried about too. Like, what if he tries to do something? Yeah, like a dick pic or whatever. Like, what if he tries to get revenge or something?
Hey man,
we did.
One last hurrah, fuck it.
Why?
Right? I don't know what to expect. So I was like, I looked at that snap the whole day. I was just like, I don't know what to do. And then I eventually opened it. The guys are on the call. And then all they hear is Drake playing in the background. I started dying.
Yo,
wait, Drake was playing in the background?
Everyone's called that in the chat that he's listening to Drake.
Everyone has been saying he was listening to Drake. I was dying when they called him out. And keep describing it, because they guessed the whole scene.
Yo, okay. So yeah, I see, I thought he was going to be like what's that dude from Fast and Furious who's crying about his baby? Like,
yeah, Tyrese Gibson.
Like, I think either gonna do that, or he's gonna be yelling, or he's gonna just be really shit-faced with his friends. No, I got the most pointless snap of him just like literally panning through his apartment. His like no one's there except for him watching TV, and Drake's in the background, and it's just his avatar saying "wine time."
What the fuck?
You should have seen how mad she got. She went from, I don't want to make that hard to man, fuck this guy.
I was like, nah, you're not gonna just come out of nowhere after several days of not like speaking to me and just saying random stuff like we've been talking and that he's just updating me on his life. Like, I don't want to know about your life. Like, I was through. I thought I was pretty clear about what I had wrote in my text. I did not want to be bothered anymore. I guess
I thought it ruined your life. I thought we got through this.
I did not ruin this dude's life. If anything, at least I didn't ghost him. Like, at least I didn't just stop talking to him. I actually gave him explanation, and I said, "Hey, no, that's it. I don't really want to be involved or whatever anymore." So
they're singing Drake to you in the chat right now. You could have my heart, or we could share it like the last slice. I will always fall for your.
How do you share the last slice?
Seriously, man, Drake. yeah, that was an experience. That was all.
And now he's at your door apparently. That dog's like, get the fuck out of here! Like.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then now this like latest guy that I matched with, and I was talking with this guy. He's from Spain, and I could sense he's starting to be a little clingy as well. Cause like literally, I did not respond. Like he's been like trying to talk to me every single day since we matched, and like it's been cool and all, getting to know each other. But the one day I did not talk to him because I actually was busy and had a lot going on that day, and I was hanging out with my mom and spending time with her. And he was like, "Oh, do you not want to talk to me?" I'm just like, yes. Okay, we were gonna meet on Sunday, but I got out of that quick. My coworker's like, just use an excuse you're with me after work, and that like, oh, you forgot and you're catching up with me or something. I'm like, good idea, and I did that. And now he's trying to act like, oh, we can reschedule. I'm off Monday. What do we do right now? I'm like, I'm not responding.
Damn, man, but like, I don't know. Like, for me, when it comes to this kind of shit, it's like, yeah, I agree that the dude's fucking crazy, especially complete with the Drake shit. I mean, it's like, dude, can we get to stereotype to stereotype to stereotype?
Drake!
What the fuck? But
Drake!
It just got to a point, though, where it's like, earlier, like, oh man, you gotta be punctual. Like, oh, you're gonna leave me standing out there for 15 minutes. But it's like, dude, now you complain about the guy calling you every day. It's like, see, this is what's wrong with fucking dudes and dating. This is why we just straight up say, listen, I want to fuck you, and then I want to not talk to you ever again. This is why that shit works, and that's why that shit should be ganja. Ganja's gonna love this. Ganja's right. That's how you should do it. Because
no, first of all, never say Ganja's right. We discussed this.
I'm just saying, I want to make his day because he looks happy as fuck.
I love every moment of the story. The fact that the chat was on point on guessing this personality
Yep.
shows how much of a stereotypical fuckboy he was.
Jen the chat saying, I hate when guys do that.
I feel
so
like
you don't want to talk
he
anymore?
definitely
Shit.
was. He definitely was one in the past. Like, I really do genuinely believe that he really did like me, and that he actually said he was going to quit smoking, but I'm like, I'm not waiting around for that, even if he goes through with actually
If
trying
you
to
think
quit.
slightly
There's
that shit's
no
actually
way,
gonna
like-
happen, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just like, we met only for 3 times, and you're going to give up literally a whole part of you that, like, a habit of yours that's been going on for years just for, like, someone you just met? Like, what? I'm just like, yeah, I'm just that. I literally told him, like, I think it's disgusting. I don't like being around it. It makes me sick. I literally told him all of this too. I was like, I made him feel like, yeah, you should be sorry for freaking smoking. Dang it. But it was more than that. I could just sense that there's something going on in his life, and I was just like, I'm not okay with being a part of that type of world. So my mom also, man, my mom was kind of dead on, because I showed her a picture of him. She's like, he looks like he smokes. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, Mom, no, he's nice. He's actually a nice guy. And then, yep, second date, saw him with that cigarette. I was like, my mom was right. She's always right.
More of the story, though, honestly, to wrap it all up, more of the story is just,
Here you go.
what have you learned from this experience?
Don't
Not
play
a
Drake in your
goddamn thing, y'all.
No.
Damn thing.
Don't play Drake in Snapchat. There you go.
Yeah, or just, how about this? When the guy's good looking and he's a little bit nice, doesn't mean that he's not a piece of shit in the 500 possible ways that he could be. So, I mean, it's...
Yo, if anything, like, at least I didn't try staying with the dude or whatever. Like, I broke it off. Like, I wasn't
I know,
having
but it's
having any patience for things like that. Like, if I wasn't comfortable, like, I was keeping kind of my distance around him. That's why we didn't even, like, try to kiss or whatever like that. Because I just had a feeling, like, there was something in my gut saying, this is not the dude you want to be around. And I was like, you know what?
It's the same feeling like when she hangs out with me.
No, I love this Dejan in the chat saying, damn, mama instincts. Like, it's almost like Dejan tried to get with the girl, and someone's mama's like, don't stay around that Dejan. He's mustard, motherfucker. You stay away from him. You need a
This
dude
is
that's
why I
ketchup.
trust him. Advice.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's the thing. Yeah, always listen to your mom. I don't, but I mean, I'm sure it won't for you. But,
My mom don't know I like the thoughts.
Alan's. Wait, do you think we're doing Flex and Show right now?
Well, you said we were earlier. We're in the shit the
That was
entire
a-
time.
No, that was a joke. But I mean, my joke's don't
Yeah.
really land. That's okay.
Well, Ali's story was basically a movie. We got the entire trilogy, so I think I have my shirt ready.
But you know what?
Okay.
Though? Here's the
Go
thing,
back to
Mr.
the story.
But as I was saying before, rules.
Dun, 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 dun!
Oh, yes!
Alright, guys, now we're done with the story time. Now we're going to let you guys know how to join the call, hang out with us, and participate with the rest of the show. For example, we're going to bring up Cucumbers, join the call first.
Cucumbers, join the call first.
I don't care. We're like, shut up, Nick. You can interrupt me. You can interrupt me with rule 2, sir. Come back and do that later. But just like Veggie tells me, like all cucumbers, tomatoes, broccoli, just bring your asses into the call. Hit us up in the DMs, PMs, Facebook, smoke signal. We don't give a fuck. Just hit us up and we'll bring you on to the show. Rule number 2. Now bring on that, Nick. Come on.
Ha. Go ahead.
But do not do that because it's rude and ruins audio quality for later viewing. So please do not talk over each other, folks. Rule number 2. Please no nudity. Rule number 3. This is a golden rule for a squeaky clean internet. We like to keep our shit on YouTube, and in order to do that, we got to keep everything that will be blurred out on fuck it all. Just keep it all inside your pants and shirts. Rule number 4. Do not give anyone a link. We have a planned show, current certain topics, discussions. I know you don't believe it or not, but we do have a planned show. So do not hand out the link. You're gone. So it's the dumbass that clicked it. Rule number 5. Read the rules, and Alley Girl, let's give them one.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a smoker.
And don't be a smoker.
And don't be Spanish. But anyways, moving on. I'm sorry. You said
I'm
they're
sure
clingy.
not every Spanish person is clingy.
I'm just saying though. That's the thing though. It's like me coming from a Mexican standpoint. I actually do think they're very, very clingy. But it's a family thing. It's not just we're simps or whatever the fuck. But anyways, moving on. Mr. Gotcha Guru. Dude, you're cracking me up all day because you keep fucking laughing. You turn your avatar off. I'm over here by myself.
Yo, man, at least your story was great the whole time through. But what kept me fucking rolling and keeping it calm was the chat, because they were like, "Oh, this dude sound like a fuckboy. I bet at some point this dude motherfucking plays Drake." And I have to keep it calm because now I'm spoiling the rest of the story.
They were dead on. Like, they were just predicting this dude. Oh my god.
Hey, honestly, like, to keep it topics, though, I'm gonna help you out with the segue. At least you don't have to deal with this type of motherfucker right here.
Oh,
Mr. Harvey
exactly.
Weinstein.
Yes, because our boy Harvey Weinstein was officially arrested. He turned himself in. He was like, "I can't take it. She doesn't want to be with me because I smoke. I don't like it." I don't know why he talks like that, by the way.
Every perverted dude to you sounds like Tommy Wiseau now, I guess.
It's okay. I can do that. But here's the thing. There's not a lot to discuss here, right? I mean, even this and the next topic, there's really not a lot to discuss other than the fact of, like, okay, so he's going through this. Is this something where, I mean, here's the thing. One thing that I heard Corey talk about recently, too, when they were talking about certain people in Hollywood and things like, you know, hey, if they turn themselves in and they go through the time, then it's, you know, it's okay. Not necessarily it's okay, but, like, they did their time, leave them the fuck alone, stop talking shit. At this point, do you think that somehow Harvey Weinstein has redeemed himself somewhat from going to this? I mean, it's a big story all over the fucking internet, so it's like, maybe it's because, like, hey, look at that was noble of him to turn himself in. I mean, what do you think about that, Gotcha?
Nah, fuck no. He just did that so if he doesn't have to get the warrant out for his arrest, because then it'll be harder for him to get bail, or the bail will be higher, because then he's considered someone that might flee. So that was just to make it better that he doesn't have to be watched by the police or give away certain, like, information. That's always something a lot of famous people do, so they get a lighter sentence and a lighter bail. And it doesn't really work for a lot of times for regular people. Sometimes it does, but that's usually a way that the lawyers try to walk around like, oh, he's a good guy, so he has nothing to hide. He turned himself in. But, man, the fact that he got fired, lost his company, that still doesn't justify for what he did, because I think that's close to what, like, all the stuff that might be, like, hearsay, or girls accusing that can't, like, actually take it to court because of statute of limitations and all that bullshit. Mm-hmm. But now that he's actually being charged for rape in 2 different countries, in London and here in the United States, so with that, honestly, he's gonna go to jail.
Yeah,
like,
man.
It looks like they're going for his ass, and if honestly, for a multi-billion-dollar mogul to, like, be able to be arrested at this point and have to pay all this money in fines and stuff, I don't know if he's gonna go to jail for the right amount of time he can, because money rules this country and its justice system. But he will probably see time behind bars.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I mean, I am kind of curious in the sense of, well, because people are saying, like, even in the chat right now, and I felt this as well reading about this, like, yeah, it's smart. It's a smart legal move, and it's like, okay, if it's a smart legal move, why wasn't this done before? Why was this fought so hard until this time? I mean, do you think that that's something that you just couldn't do before? Because I'm reading the article here, and it doesn't really discuss that too much. It's like, I don't think that this was his first option that he decided to take.
Something his lawyer.
Yeah. But what do you think about this, Allie? I mean, are you kind of like, oh, you know, I guess it's slightly admirable that he just threw himself in there. People said that about Louis C.K., saying it was admirable that he admitted to all the shit he did. Do you feel that way with this dude at all, or not?
Nah. Like what Don just said. Yeah, it's just to make his sentence lighter. Like, he's still a scumbag. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't think he did this for, like, moral reasons. Like, oh, I'm gonna go and turn myself in because it's the right thing to do. I think if there was a chance of him, like, getting away light and he didn't turn himself in and he was on the run, like Roman Polanski or something, he'd probably do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't believe that.
And Justin says you can't arrest someone without verified charges, so maybe it took a while for verification or something like that as well. And then Justin said earlier too, T.G. Miller is going to jail as well, and I think it's I mean, did he turn himself in the sense, or did he?
No, he got arrested because the motherfucker's a terrorist now.
Okay, so, like, that's the thing. Is there no way that he's going to come back from that? Like, there's no type of, like...
All right, he's famous and got money. I don't know if he'll serve time, but his career might be over from this, because that shows one really bad mental instability, and I think he's going to be banned from federal transportation. So goodbye all international tours.
Oh, I love this. I've been waiting for this motherfucker to show up in the chat again. Whiskey, I'm coming for your ass, bro. He's saying redeem himself. Yeah, he's a fucking rapist with a heart of gold. Hope they nail his ass to the wall. Well, let me ask you this: when you decided to respond to my little review on Facebook about L, sir, when, you know, you're saying, oh, no, that movie's not that bad. People are just being really fucking, like, sensitive with that movie, etc., you know, the whole fucking thing. You didn't feel bad about that movie apologizing for the guy at the end saying, well, you know what? He's a little fucked up, guys. You know, it's not so bad that he's a rapist. And, you know, he got killed, so technically it's not a big deal at the end of the day. Like, no, fuck that. I agree with you, Sky. All rapists suck. That's why that movie is fucking trash. Fuck you. Damn it. Why did I put on Allie when I said fuck you? I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. Hey, fuck you. Ganja. No,
Hey, man, you got that. I got that. She was a crazy religious bitch that was just going to forgive her husband because that's the right thing to do in their fucked up society.
yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about that. I like how Alan just came back during an argument. It's like, even if he's not arguing, we bring him in with our argument.
I like when Alan's confused. He gets these, like, Chinese eyes like he just got done stealing my weed.
Well, let's not
so
say that,
racist.
dude.
I don't even know where to begin.
I just realized that was a racist thing.
That's so terrible.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Oh, but anyway,
Please,
just to end that
move
little
on
part
to
off.
a worser subject, please.
Exactly. No, but, you know, just to end that point up. Yeah, Sky, fuck you. So, moving on. This is the thing that this shocks the fuck out of me. Here's the thing. I knew there's something going on with Morgan Freeman because people like to overly hype this dude way too much. The guy is not even that fucking great. I don't like the dude. But apparently, he put his hand in the cookie jar. You know. Do you believe this? I mean, how do you feel about Morgan Freeman now? Is all of his movies bad, Ganja? I mean, how do you feel about your boy now?
All right, here's the thing with Morgan Freeman. It's only been like one woman come out and accused him, and it was something that was on the line of sexual harassment.
It wasn't 8.
So, was it 8?
I guess one was 8.
A lot has been going on, but a lot of them have been either like they've been explained misunderstandings. Like this isn't something as crazy as Kevin Spacey or any shit like that. Where it's like some women have come out. Some women have, it's like, yeah, a lot of it's like some versions of misunderstanding, some things where it's like, yeah, he was a bit uncomfortable, but it's like he's able to apologize to these women and be able to he's been able to pave over a lot of what's been going on.
I think what he's guilty of is that dirty grandpa shit, which is sexual harassment, let's be honest here. We just excuse it because it's cute old guys and we find it funny because we all want to be that dirty old dude one day that gets away with shit. But honestly, like, that is sexual harassment to a certain degree. But everyone's trying to paint like this motherfucker's out there just raping folks and shit.
Man, it's something that he said, and I almost like, the thing is, it's like, if he did something worse, I probably wouldn't care, but it's like, the fact that he, this has been going on, so he says, like, yo, I don't want this one thing to undermine 80 years of my life. And it's like, it's so easy to not even give a shit about that because they're celebrities or they're making money or all that stuff. But it's like, a lot of people, like, their entire life, like, Kevin Spacey's entire life is gone now. And it's like, yeah, we look at him and Harvey Weinstein and say they basically deserved it. But it's like, sometimes this happens where it's like, I like a lot of Morgan Freeman movies. Morgan Freeman, a lot of movies I really enjoy. So it's like, the fact that one decision or one series of actions can just remove almost a century of movies, like that blows my mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I'm looking over here at this story as well. I'm gonna pull it back up again. But yeah, 8 people said, and this is a thing where I'm not gonna defend or anything or whatever the fuck. But it's like, this is where we get into territory where it's like, okay, well then we're all in trouble because we've all been guilty of doing this at some point. I ain't gonna fucking lie and say I've never done something close to this. He said. Yeah. That or people were saying in this news story, like, there's 16 people that came and said, yo, he said these things to me, it was inappropriate, it was sexually explicit, this, and up here, sure. Morgan Freeman said you did it in a humorous way. The thing is, how many times have we made a joke? We just did one earlier today. You made a joke about the dick and the Tinder thing, which, I mean, we were talking about Tinder, and I'm sorry, Allie, but Tinder is full of dick that's just waving around like, suck it, suck it, suck it. It's just how it works. That's what they do. But the thing is like, even in school, man, there's been many times that, a girl walked by and, we're like 16-year-old dudes and, girls' titties are showing. It's like, hey, look at them titties. They look hot. Squeeze them, the whole thing. Back in the day, it wasn't a big deal. Now, you can say that shit, and now you can, like, ruin my whole life because you deemed it fucking, like, too sexually explicit. Meanwhile, when we watch TV and all this other shit, that happens all the time. There's always a bunch of fucking jokes everywhere about this stuff, where it's in commercials even. But yeah, when someone else does it, it's like, I'm not going to defend Morgan Freeman. I really am not. But it's like, no one even said that he touched him. There was even a fucking news video. I don't know if you saw this, Ganja, but some girl was literally talking about how, Morgan Freeman was looking at her during an interview, and then he literally says, oh, I wish I was over there. And I guess he was looking at her in a hungry, like, I want to fuck you way. And literally, that's the quote. He says, literally, just these words, I wish I was over there. And I was like, there is nothing sexual about that at all. This bitch is fucking reaching hard. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, is there anything sexual about that?
Honestly, like, that's the thing. Like, nowadays, like, the term sexual harassment, that is, I think it's just such an open blank term, especially now that we have like more people trying to figure out what it means in terms of like a Me Too moment. So now everyone's trying to figure out what it is. And to some people, like Jess said, that's still weird though. Like some girls will feel that offensive or feel like they're harassed in that moment, especially within the workplace. But then again, coming from, the guy's point of view, he's probably just joking around trying to make a lively interview for her to get a clip show so she could look how funny and dirty Morgan Freeman can play. Come check out E! News at 7.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. And it's like, with all the things that have happened, it's like it's getting to a point where I don't want to shake a girl's hand. Like if I meet someone's parents or something, like don't fucking hug me. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna get my ass in trouble. Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But Alan's gonna see. I mean, I know you like your Freeman. At least maybe I'm wrong about that. But I mean,
I do for the most part. I'm not saying he's my favorite, actor. He's not even my favorite person with the last name Freeman. Martin Freeman for life. But it's one of those things where it's just like. It's more of just a statement he said afterwards, where it's like, yeah, 80. Like if this was like a little bit worse, or there wasn't enough information, and people just took the words of these people, and his entire career just went down the drain. It's like that is a bunch of movies just off the top of my head that it's like, what, I have to hate now? It's like he's like what, 80, almost 90 years old, and he spent most of his life making movies and being a pretty cool dude during those movies. So it's like the fact that all that just get wiped away and no one gives a shit. It's like. This is like revisionist history at its worst.
Yeah, and one thing I want to bring up really quick too, and I want to get this opinion straightly from the person that should be speaking most in this situation, is Allie. Where's that line that's drawn between flirtatious compliment or someone just saying like, "Hey, you look good today," whatever the fuck? Like, where's the line crossed where it's like, okay, you know what? I'm feeling comfortable. Fuck that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where do you draw a line?
Yeah, I mean, like some of the things that he said, it makes things uncomfortable for women, definitely. Especially coming from like a person that especially if you're like an aspiring actress or something like that, and you look up to these people, and you really have so much respect for the craft, and you just never think that they're gonna make a pass at you like that, because they always come off like very, I guess, respectable in whenever, like in interviews or just interacting with other people or whatever. So yeah, when that happens, you're just kind of like flabbergasted, and it really just kind of like destroys everything you thought you thought about things in a way. Like you're just kind of like, I cannot believe this just happened. You're in shock. So I'm not saying that it's all right for woman to like accuse him in a way that's like, oh my god, he raped me, when he didn't even touch the woman in any way. Like you just said, something that was just very uncomfortable for women. So in that case, like, yeah, his life should definitely not be destroyed whatsoever for anything like that. It's not at the height of Weinstein or Kevin Spacey. So, but yeah, I do think that I feel like men do know the difference of what is considered something that's very, like, a nice compliment, like, oh, you look very beautiful in that dress, or
but that ass though.
Exactly, saying something like that, yeah, of course, that would make women very uncomfortable. Like, I think most guys know the line. Like, you don't have to say like, oh, I wish I was over there or whatever. Like, obviously you could see the sexual undertones in that comment.
But
and
I'll say this right now, I've said that to women. Like, I've actually said that, and it's like,
it feels slimy and grimy. Like, it just makes the women feel like they're just a piece of meat and they're just not like a human being. Like, no woman, no person just in general wants to feel like that. I'm sure women do that to men too, and men don't like it. So it's like, yeah, it happens. It happens. No, well, I'm not saying to everyone, but like, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
it's on both sides. So it's just like, I just think, yeah, it's going a little bit too far again, like a witch hunt. Just trying to find any sort of dirt on any person. Like, Nick, he always joked about this, but Tom Hanks, he better be really careful. Hopefully he doesn't have anything in his closet. I don't want to hear anything. I'm really hoping, because like, I feel like, I don't know, I'd be devastated if I heard anything about Steven Spielberg. That's what I was thinking, like Steven Spielberg and Morgan Freeman. Like, honestly, I thought he was one of those actors, I was really scared I was gonna come out and like find something. Honestly though, like, have you seen his older when he was younger, like the stuff he's in? I always felt like there was a part that I was like, you know what, this dude's like probably flirty, like really flirty and stuff, like around women, like, or saying some derogatory stuff. I had a feeling, like maybe he grew out of it, but I had a feeling like there's a little bit of still that young Freeman in there that, you know, wasn't exactly the most, I guess, respectful of women. But so like in a way, I'm not like extremely devastated. I did expect a little bit more from him, just because he just seems like for the most part to be very like classy person. But anyway, I don't feel like his whole career should be destroyed over this, especially since he's done nothing. He's not ever groped a woman, at least from what we've heard. It was really just comments he made and stuff like that. So I just,
Speaking of dirty old man seems to be his thing, but like I know Justin and Red Robot King are talking about that the Me Too moment has gone too far. I think this is just a natural occurrence with a lot of these things, because you always got to think of the concept, like think of the women that honestly has something really bad happen to them. Now they feel empowered to go out and, you know, let their truth be told and actually try to get these individuals that fuck their lives up. But you also got people who probably don't have a direct, you know, assumption on what sexual harassment and sexual assault, and they just look at certain things like as a creepy encounter and pursue it as a sexual assault. And depending on the situation, it could be like the guy, like Jet described one story that he just walked into a room and stared all the young females up and down and just walked out. That's a little creepy. It could be construed as like sexual harassment, but like it's in the end, it's still one of those gray areas that I don't think we can ever, like, it's gonna have to determine the courts, and it's gonna have to be determined about the individuals. And I'd rather people be afraid that are actual perpetrators of these kinds of crimes. And if these people kind of get caught up in the dragnet, but usually, like, for example, us talking here, these people usually have such open wide cases that we're not so quick to crucify them. You got some websites that are, but those are just usually extreme websites anyways that are ready to crucify anyone.
Well, yeah. I mean, like this being from New York Times.
Crucifixion that gets me, man.
Yeah, well, this one, the only reason why I brought this up, and here's the thing, because I want to explain something too, just for future stories that we tell and things like that too. Yeah. Because I don't think I've ever explained this as well. What happens is, because I don't have a mixer, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm doing this shit rinky dink with as much as I can, as much effort as I can. That's why it takes so long to do these shows, etc. But the way I'm doing it is I can't play audio from the browser, so I actually can't pull up the clip, because Dejan said you should probably show the clip, and I wish I could, but I do have the story of the particular things just so you guys know that line. And I do want to like read the story to you guys really quick, because it's Chloe Mellis. She's a report for CNN. And basically, I'm sorry, I'm all dying over here. But basically, she was sent over to cover a publicity event for Going in Style, which I guess is a movie with Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Alan Arkin. They were all in the seat. And basically, let me see over here. It says, Mr. Freeman looked her up and down, made several remarks along the lines of, "I wish I was there," one of which was captured on video. Now, the video that I saw, and I saw this on Facebook, she's acting up a storm, dude. Like, y'all, honestly, after the show, you guys should look that shit up, because it's funny as fuck. And honestly, you should probably look at it and just be like, okay, you know what? This is what lying looks like. Because when she's sitting there, dude, she is, like, doing a sad voice, like, "I just felt so humiliated and so, like he just wanted to, like, do something to me." And I'm like, yeah, your titties are out. Like, he said he wishes he was over there. You look beautiful. And it's like, he wasn't saying he's going to do something. He wasn't doing anything perverted. Conan's done stuff that's way worse than that, where he has a girl doing yoga and shit, where the girl's boobs are almost popping out, and no one says anything. It's like, she was saying that shit because Morgan Freeman's a disgusting looking dude, and she was fucking making a big deal of nothing.
I kind of want to turn to that meme where the dude disappears.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, because the thing is, like, judging by today, and I'm not going to show anyone's faces when I say this, but judging by just today of certain things, when, you know, Allie was telling her story about Tinder, we said something kind of like that just in this podcast alone. So it's like, we can't just point fingers and say, oh, Morgan Freeman's a terrible person because of this particular fucking thing. It's like, we just did this shit now. So, yeah.
Well, okay, just so we always have to look at the content of the situation. We should never say that the person was asking for it, because based on how they dress, because people have the right to dress however they want. But we also have to be that our words speak louder. Actions do speak louder than words, but words are, like, people hear that way more often than their actions. So when you say something, people construe that however they want. That's why we need to have these open discussions, these open forums, to be able to explain. So that way, when Nick basically said how is she mad? She was dressing like that. Somebody could take that as what the fuck. Like I was going, ugh, and he called me on camera. I didn't expect that.
No, but that's the thing. Is like for me, I'm just thinking like someone needs to create some. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but like someone needs to create a rule list of like this is not acceptable. Do not do this because it's fucking weird. Like when dudes like for instance that Aziz Ansari situation too.
Oh yeah.
It's like that shit was bad too, and that guy was a horrible date. He's a piece of shit. But people were acting like he committed a crime. He didn't. She like he was like, hey, you suck my dick, and like she did it. And then she, undressed and stayed with him all night for 2 hours, the whole night, and then still goes on social media and makes fun of the dude and talks shit about him and tells this horrible story, making him look like a fucking villain. Leave, bitch! Like, get a lift. You have a phone. Call 911. Call the police. Don't sit there and let the fucking dude treat you like that for all hours of the night and still call it a fucking date. At a certain point, it's no longer a date. You're being fucking, assaulted. But she's like, oh, well, fuck being assaulted. I'm just going to stay here and chill so I can talk about my friend or talk about it on social media the next day. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, don't ever let a fucking dude do that shit. And it's like, I don't know. Like, for me, with the Morgan Freeman thing, I'm defending him so much right now. I'm pretty sure half the shit he probably did do something. I know Jet sent something in the chat about he lined up some girls. For one, why is he lining them up? What girl is saying, oh, yeah, line me up against the wall and look me up and down? I want to know more about that story because that sounds fucking ridiculous. Like, it's class. Like, hey, first graders, time for math. Line up against the wall. It's time to go to class. Like, what the fuck is that? It's ridiculous. It's just, it drives me nuts because at this point, it's like, you know what? Either everyone's a fucking pervert or nobody. It's like, make your fucking rules. It's ridiculous.
It does, but it does depend. I do believe it does depend on the context of the situation. Yeah, obviously, sometimes I think when we're having this conversation with JT's like, yo, they're targeting ugly people in these fucking Me Too campaigns, and it's like I don't agree with that necessarily, but I think people are overblowing what means what.
Well, here's the thing: James Franco is over there fucking 15-year-olds on social media, but Morgan Freeman says, "I wish I was there." Morgan Freeman's in trouble. James Franco is still the hottie. Everyone wants to fuck James Franco.
Twice, by the way, he got in trouble twice.
He probably got in trouble a lot more than that. It's probably a lot more women coming forward saying James Franco said this and show me his dick and did this and did that. But the thing is, James Franco is a pretty boy and he's cool and everyone likes him because Marvel and the fucking Seth Rogen movies and all that shit. I know, wrestling.
Marvel?
I saw him ringside hangout mode. But like, you know what I mean? Like, James Franco gets all this fucking praise and everyone's cool with him going up on stage and accepting awards and shit. But Morgan Freeman, they find out and, like, right away, one fucking day, fuck him, he's terrible. Louis C.K., same thing. I don't like Louis C.K. either now. I'm embarrassed to say I'm a fucking fan of his and liked all of his stand-up comedies. It's disgusting that he was out showing his dick to people. But I'm telling you, half of the reason why people talk shit about him and how he can't get no deals is because he's a fat fuck and he's old. Like, and he's ugly as shit.
Yeah.
And it's annoying as shit. It's like... it just drives me up the wall, Ganja, okay? All right, Ganja, bitch.
I get what you're coming from. As a matter of fact, I hate that you're going to make me defend Team Coco because you brought up, like, his whole aspect of having girls jump around naked. The difference between that and, I guess, these situations here is, like, she was doing an interview with him, and that's not, like, a naturally sexually explicit kind of scenario where you have that type of interaction, whereas Coco and I know Jimmy Kimmel used to do it on The Man Show a lot. They would usually hire these girls who are known to just do this on the regular, like this is their profession. They work hard on their bodies, and that's something they want to do. They like showing off for the cameras and whatnot. And maybe there's some sexual exploitation there. Like we can always argue that, and there's agreement to a certain point. But in the end of the day, it's more of did they agree to this kind of setup, or is it something that was forced upon them? Whereas the girls in the Jimmy Kimmel and the Coco show, they knew what the contract, they knew what the paycheck was and what they were going to be required to do, whereas she just went there for a regular interview.
Yeah. And I mean, and this is the thing I really want to look at here too, is like Jet saying it seems like pervertedness is so deep within our society that, we actually normalize sexual harassment. Like, it's just what guys do. And we don't think it's a big deal because we learn to just be passive about it. And like, that's the thing that kind of drives me up the wall as well. It's like, I mean, you even see this like in like fucking schools. I mean, remember like prom. When people just talk about the Bill Cosby, I'm getting my perverts mixed up now, Morgan Freeman, about him lining people up, etc. Is that not how you approach women at a prom, like prom night or dancing things for schools, where they're lining up against a fucking wall, and anyone who's not dancing with somebody else is like, oh, she looks pretty. Hey, want to dance with me? Or you grab their hand, or you do, whatever the fuck. Like, is this not the same thing? Like, that's what happens, like, in school.
Like, I don't know the situation exactly what Jess described, but he's like, he used his power to do that, whereas the school, where it's like, that's just kind of a rule of how a dance starts. I'm not sure if it's prom, but I know other dances do that, because I think my school did that at one point, to which I saw the door and booked it.
Wait, what happened?
I saw the door and I said, I know how this is gonna go, and I ran.
Aww.
One thing I agree with Jet's sentiment, but I disagree with what she's saying. She's saying that perversion is so deep in our society that it causes people to act like this. I think it's because our society treats these perversions with such a negative attitude. You get a lot of these interactions that come out with it. For example, like the whole idea of like girls like that have more than one partner are suddenly sluts and whatnot, and they're not pure in some sense, or they get around, they deserve what happens to them to a certain extent when it comes to sexual crimes. That comes out because people are not comfortable with their sex perversions. They feel ashamed of it and feel like they should keep a purity sense about them. Honestly, I think we were more honest with our sexual feelings and our sexual perversions, especially with partners that are consenting and willing to participate in them. I think we would have less of these cases.
Yeah. So, like I said, you said I couldn't say any better than that. You know, if I keep talking, I'm gonna just fucking say more fucked up shit. And we'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that. But like, just keep in mind, people, I'm from the '90s where there was not so much sensitivity, and I could just say what the fuck's on my mind. Like, I don't know.
Let's not say the '90s was a golden era. There was some stupid shit back then too.
Oh no, there was some terrible shit back then. But I mean, god damn, it's like at least we knew. Like the thing is, like, and maybe this was wrong back then, but it's like I feel like in the '90s. I didn't have to be confused about harassment. I knew I shouldn't do that, and then I don't do it, and then everything's fine. You know?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. I disagree because it's like obviously people are now like obviously sensitivity is way too much of an issue, but I think that I'd rather live in a world where people are willing to stand up for what they believe in, even if it's stupid or even if we consider it like oversensitivity, versus a time where people were afraid. Because again, I was short. I got bullied every fucking day. I never told anybody because I was afraid of what that was like. So it's like, I hope that there are kids nowadays that don't have that same fucking fear, you know, that can actually go up and talk to people and people will actually fucking listen. Because people never used to listen back then about anything. Oh, people bullying you, fucking grow up, be a man. It's like, now it's like, okay, people will actually help you, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I know you told me I didn't listen, but it's just you're so like down there, you know, I couldn't hear you because I'm so tall and the whole thing. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make a joke. I apologize.
I've heard it before.
No, yeah. No, but anyways, aside from that, let's get to something a little less deep. Okay, a little bit more, like, not deep in the ground, but really high in the sky.
Some bullshit.
That was great. That was a good fucking pun I just made. I know no one appreciated it because no one appreciates greatness, but it's okay.
So high in the
Sky.
Well, when we see it, we'll let you know.
I can go extra high. It's in the book. Just take a look. Skyscraper.
Wait, did you not say the right shit? It's supposed to be Rain Rainbow. I think you fucked that up.
I changed the title around so we could do a quick
You
transition.
changed the whole song around. How did you not pay
you
attention
fucked
to
it
that?
all up. That was perfect, and then you just ruined a good moment. Jesus Christ.
You know what? I'm gonna go have me a Me Too moment. Be right back.
Oh
Can't
man.
clean sexual harassment. You're a dude, and that's another dude. That goes against Duncan.
No, but anyways, yeah. Oh, and Justin, real quick, before you continue on, he said he got bullied for being fat most of his life and learned to just to be above the bullies. And yeah, I got, hold on. This guy says, Nick, you're fucking 10 in the 90s playing with blocks. Yeah, of course. And I wasn't sexually harassing all the other kids that are playing with blocks.
yeah.
Playing
with blocks.
I guess you could say I was a cock blocker.
That makes no fucking sense. Not even in the context of this Not even in the context of the blocking.
No.
What do you think that meant?
Just
He's
no.
laughing his ass off too. That's what makes me
because
even
he
more
thought it was
mad.
funny. But
Because he's giggling his ass. Oh my god.
in his head, that made perfect fucking sense.
Can you
But
always
when he
put the
said it, it made
trailer?
no sense.
Can you put the trailer on so we can talk about the Rock in this tall ass building?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Skycraper.
All
What
right,
do
what
you
the
guys
fuck?
think about this shit?
Man, it's
This is some bullshit.
all right. First of all, I don't know how to feel about this because it seems like we're just killing disaster movies after disaster movies again, and that reminds me of the dark period of cinema known as 2006 to 2007.
Yep.
And
What are you about doing that?
I don't want to relive that again. I'm tired of disaster movies, especially when the only thing they got to sell us is a giant elevator that crashes at the bottom.
This is just Die Hard. This is Die Hard again. This fucking thing is a goddamn piece of shit trailer.
here's the thing.
Oh, sorry. What's up?
No, because here's the thing. You say that, but would it make it any better if he admitted that was Die Hard?
My problem, okay, like, my problem with this, I love The Rock and I love a lot of what The Rock does, and this looked kind of good. My problem is trailer culture, and that's why I'm specifically mad at this particular trailer. Because there's a scene in the last trailer where he jumps off and he's hanging, and the trailer ends with his leg being caught there, and it's that bullshit with the prosthetic leg goes down. This fucking trailer ends with the continuation of that fucking scene. I hate trailer culture now, where we're getting the entire plot of the movie in a series of 3 trailers. Like, they just showed us a cliffhanger, and then they continued it in the trailer. That's like in Terminator Genesis. We got the fucking plot we got the plot twist that John Connor becomes a robot.
But that's
like, don't understand trailer culture.
What is to this movie though? It's just skyscraper. Like, spoiler alert: The Rock lives, guys. Like,
maybe
it's one of those situations like when I had with the first Deadpool. It's like people are like, "Oh, people, spoilers! Don't spoil it for me." I'm like, have you seen a comic book movie ever? Like, are you fucking kidding me? There's jokes, and there's a bad guy, and a good guy wins. Did I ruin it?
Yeah, but those are archetypes. There's specific sequences in there that aren't in there. The Zamboni thing is a joke, but there's specific sequences in there that aren't in there. There's specific I don't think there are specific sequences in this goddamn movie that aren't desired. Him wrapping the thing around and jumping out of a building is from this might as well be a remake of Die Hard, and I think they're just selling it as something else because the building is taller.
But that's the thing. Do we even know what the protagonist situation is? Like, I mean, we know who the protagonist is, or the antagonist. My bad.
Yeah.
But we don't know, like, why are these guys taking over this area? We don't know what they're going to be doing. So it's like, it's not like it's giving us a story. They're just giving us like the cool like action scenes, really. And I mean, that's what you want in a trailer. That's what I want. I want to, get me to go pay my money to go see shit explode on a big fucking screen. Like, I'm happy about that, and I'm surprised you being a guy who loves action and loves choreography so much. Like, I'm surprised that you're hating this.
I'm not hating it because I'm gonna watch this movie because again I like The Rock a lot and like a lot of what he's doing, and some of the action choreography is fine. My problem is it's like when I say spoilers for movies that obviously can't be spoiled because it'd be hard to spoil Deadpool or whatever with the specific sequence of events. It's the action scenes themselves are the reason you go see these movies. No one's seeing half of The Rock's movies for the fucking plot. They're seeing that for the action scenes. And my problem with this is you essentially can edit the action scenes in your head just by watching it, where it's like you see the thing where he jumps, you see the thing with the leg, and then you see in the next trailer what happens. Like, yeah, we don't get to see the in between. It might as well be a commercial break. But we get to fucking see the whole thing, and that's my problem with trailer culture is we get the best parts. The best parts of an action movie is the fucking action. When most of it is in the fucking trailer, what am I going there for? The story? I don't give a shit that they're attacking Nakasaki Plaza or whatever the fuck this place is called, and it's a mystery. What are they really here for? Man, they're probably here for some money or bullshit. Like, this does not seem any fucking different than any other Die Hard fucking sequel.
Yeah, and I mean, Justin's saying, Alan, he's saying basically this is what you're saying. Man, the trailer's stupid. Everything wrong with action movies. I'm gonna see it day one. So, but the thing is, I think I know what you're saying it because sometimes movies can be really, really bad and really, really stupid, but still be worth going to the movie theater to go see that. I mean, that happens with me with every fucking goddamn movie. But you, Ganja, I mean, you've seen some of the trailer now. I know we saw the entire trailer with sound and everything earlier, but your boy The Rock, jumping around all over the place. What are you feeling?
Man, I'm not. I kind of really don't like these disaster movies. They kind of, like Alan says, they kind of end up the same way and they all have the same plot device. And the character, I know it's just going to be The Rock. It's not going to be whatever the character is within the series context. So I'm not going to see the character develop. I'm just going to go see The Rock try to climb a burned building and save his kids and his divorced wife, which is, again, a kind of a concept to Die Hard. So I probably might be good. This might be a movie that I just get extremely baked with you guys and just watch one day because we ain't got really nothing to do when we got done doing all of our shit that we had to do for the day.
Is that a baseball on top of the fucking tower?
Yeah.
Don't ask.
Is that supposed to be there?
I said don't ask. No question.
Yeah, this shit's stupid, but I'm gonna show it one more time. That really is a baseball.
Is that a fucking baseball?
Yo. At the end of this, at some point, that motherfucker's got to ride the baseball down.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I will give it a better than sex if that happens.
No, it'll just fall. And it'll just roll down the hill or something.
Yeah, hit the bad guy. He's like, I got you now, Rock.
It'll crush the bad guy at the last second.
No, I guarantee you, the sequence of events in between, hey, maybe they'll do something different. The end of this movie will be like Die Hard, where the guy's going to fall out of the fucking whatever and fall to the ground.
Yeah, and Rutha said, does this come out in August? No, man, it's actually July 13th, and Raheem just put it there right now, too. And, yeah, it's like, dude, it's literally 2 months away. Can you for sure it's going to be terrible. Like, holy shit, in 2 months, you're going to start the marketing around now?
This movie's been marketed for a while.
Oh, really? Cause I remember last week he was like, hey, guys, new fucking Skyscraper trailer. Like, our first one. It's going to be big. He was on Twitter talking about it because I do follow The Rock because wrestling. But, yeah, he was making a big deal about it and shit. Like, this was even on, like, the most trending list for fucking YouTube. It was, like, up there for, like, I think it was, like, number 30, like, in the first day or two, and then just gone.
Yeah.
ridiculous. You know what I mean? Ruth is saying this is such toasty bait. Oh, now I know why he was asking. He was like, hey, maybe in an anniversary party with DT.
Yo, I would go to the theater in a minute and watch this with y'all.
We are hitting the bomb behind the alley. You are joining us, alley.
Yo,
What do you mean?
Kidnapped is still the best movie experience of my life.
Allie, you join us in the alley to smoke the bong.
Wait, Allie, why do you got that Dutch fucking camera angle from like?
I know, like.
I know. Like you're watching Drone or Dune or whatever the fuck that shit's called. Like.
I had to move. No, yeah, this looks stupid.
Yeah, that's all good. But are you saying this movie looks stupid or your camera angle looks stupid?
Both.
Both. Oh, okay. Well, elaborate as to why you think this looks stupid. Because I mean, it has action. You like your Marvel movies. You like your ridiculous shit. Oh, why you don't like this?
This looks ridiculous. Like I'm not.
Yeah, but
about
Thanos,
this.
the big purple dinosaur, being a green dinosaur looking fucking Hulk, like for 2 minutes. That's not ridiculous at all, right?
Okay, that's different. Like that's built on like all these stories coming together, and it's about these characters that you really care about and are well developed. Like this just looks like every Roland Emmerich movie. I just like I don't care for these anymore. I kind of like The Day After Tomorrow, but everything else is just like I really got sick of it. It's just a bunch of CGI thrown at the screen, and like you don't care about anyone. And then you have like these, like probably gonna have like some characters that are doofuses that are also scientists for some reason.
Disaster movies hate scientists. They think we're all a bunch of fucking idiots.
Oh yes, definitely. And I think The Rock's time has come where I don't think he's that big of a box office draw anymore. I think he got lucky with Jumanji, but everything else, I feel like I just don't think people are as into him anymore.
Honestly, though, I do think that this particular movie is just really just The Rock and Helicopter breaking up. Like, this helicopter's going there.
So stupid.
God,
because it's like The Rock's been in helicopters this entire time, and then this trailer, I'm like, wait, no helicopter, no The Rock? Wait, did he lose that studio or something? What happened? And then at the end of the trailer, I see a helicopter just go after The Rock. I'm like, oh, they got in a fight, and that's what this movie is. So let's see what happens. The Rock versus helicopter and flames, fires, buildings, all that bullshit.
I'm putting The Rock versus Burning Building for Zoe in the chat. That's how I'm going to give her a description.
So wait, who would you say, in a fight, who would win, The Rock or Burning Building?
The Rock, man. The Rock always beats everything. Beat paper, beat scissors.
It
It's all
depends.
good.
How angry is the burning building?
Dude, I want to just see a movie just called Trope Heaven
No,
and have Tom
how
Cruise
much
running,
prep-
The Rock blowing shit up. Like, you know.
How much prep time the building has?
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind a Tom Cruise Rock team up movie.
Yeah,
That'd
that would be amazing. You know,
Okay, that's just the Flash versus the Hulk at that point.
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Deja saying Rock versus Rock. Yeah, that'd be fucking amazing too. But yo, people, it's time to get into the thing that I actually fucking dread. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. No lying. Flix and Chill. I almost said Felix and Chill. My bad. I'm not naming that.
Felix and Chill, we should do that.
Dude, by the way, just for 2 hours.
He's Felix the cat.
And
A
another
wonderful,
thing.
wonderful cat.
No. But it's Flex and Chill solo. Now, before we get into this, too, I'm going to show this. I'm going to explain because there's going to be some crazy things. I'm going to explain the after hours really quick because people are going to shit on it. I'd rather them shit on it while we're talking about solo so I can just respond to them while we fight. So, first off, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is our first choice for the movies of tonight. I'll explain that right now, too. Or, secondly, a disaster movie with The Rock. And if you guys choose that one for the poll, I'll just look up a bunch of disaster movies with The Rock, and we'll make another poll, and we'll vote on that one. Thirdly, for obvious reasons, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. And then Fast and Furious 6, and then Jurassic Park because, and I want to start off with this explanation, Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is coming out, I think, June 23rd, 27th. So we got 4 weeks until then, and I think, you know, we watch Jurassic Park 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. That's 4 weeks. Boom, we got it. We're good. Be awesome. Which, by the way, hello, Justin. How you doing, sir?
Oh. There
Oh,
we go.
man. Yep, I like that
Yo.
P6K. You're bringing it back. Very retro of you to not have good internet. Okay, but moving on, though. I'm going to show this again. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So what I'm basically doing with the after hours nowadays until we actually find some themes I want to work into this. This came out literally the same exact weekend that we're in now, just
Right.
10 years ago. Fast and Furious 6, same thing, but 5 years ago in 2013, I believe. And then obviously Jurassic Park for the dinosaur movies coming out soon, and then The Rock, because we did discuss Skyscraper. And honestly, watching that trailer, Alan, as much as we just talk shit about it, I want to see The Rock do some ridiculous shit. I know you don't like it. I'm sorry. But
hey, it's not that I don't like the ridiculous shit. It's mostly I hate the fucking trailer and that this is trying to be something that it's not. It's a diehard fucking clone.
Exactly, yeah. Justin, is your internet better?
I don't know. Is it any better now?
Actually, no, it's not. It's terrible. I'm not even joking. I know I said that like I'm joking.
Yeah, you got this thing that sounds like you're inside the AC unit.
Exactly, yeah.
It's the air conditioning.
If you do refrigeration, I need your help. But moving on.
Let me know when you're there and unmute you so the background noise.
Exactly. But
All right.
here we go, guys. Click! Oh, look how great we just switched that shit with the flex and chill. And over here, he's all dressed up nicely. My boy Alan.
Looking so fancy and free.
But I can't talk a whole lot because I didn't see this movie, and I'm not going to see this movie because fuck this fucking movie. But who knows? With The Last Jedi being so crap, and we all, Allie, Ganja, Alan, we all shit on the movie to an insane amount. Did they kind of bring it back a little bit? I'm going to start off with you, Alan. Like, how are you feeling just as far as positivity or negativity? Are you positive? Are you negative? How you feeling? All right, in the middle.
It's middle because it's like I expected when I heard about this movie, I'm like, this is such a stupid title. This guy's kind of eh. And then it's like I just really had no inclination. I just kind of just saw it just to see it. And then as I was watching it, I'm like, I honestly really hate Han Solo in this fucking movie. Or Han, because the way he gets his fucking nickname, I audibly laughed in the fucking theater. It is laughably stupid how he gets his fucking full name.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And by the way, too, people, one other thing I gotta warn you guys right now, I'm sorry to not do this earlier. We are talking spoilers. We're gonna spoil the fuck out of this movie because I am spoiled and haven't even discussed this fucking thing. Allie, I remember you not being as hyped as I was. Or am I wrong for saying that?
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't think this movie, I had very low expectations, very low. I didn't really care about this movie. I really kind of saw this, went to see this as more of an obligation because I'm an overall Star Wars fan, more than I was really, a fan of seeing this, and that I was really excited for it. So that was kind of my take on, how I felt about it before I saw it. After seeing it, I actually quite enjoyed it.
I'm surprised.
Just because I really did not like The Last Jedi, borderline hate, except for, Kylo Thick. But everything else about that, I just didn't, except for a couple of parts of that movie, the rest of it, I just could not bear. I literally bought that movie just recently, went back and watched it, and I literally skipped through probably 1/3 of the movie because all of it really was unnecessary, and it felt so it's supposed to be all grand and stuff, but I felt like actually a lot of the stories were really, really irrelevant to what was actually what was really important that was going on. They kind of didn't focus on it as much, and I was just like, what was the point of this movie in the first place then? Yeah. Feel like we're at the exact same place at the end that as we were at the beginning. I felt like there was just nothing.
You knew that was going to happen, though. It's a prequel story to Han Solo. We know where
I'm still talking about The Last Jedi. But anyway, back to Solo. But anyway, yeah. You all know how I feel about The Last Jedi. No, this one, of course, it's a prequel, so we know how how things are going to turn out. But I was actually, very pleasantly surprised. I won't say that any of the action scenes or anything were really awesome. I can't really go away remembering anything. It actually kind of is in a way meh. But so Alan's definitely right about that. But I don't know. I actually really like the more simplified story here. I actually really appreciated it because it was different than what we've been getting lately from the Star Wars movies, and I felt like, I know some people feel like this doesn't add anything to the world or whatever, but I actually felt like it did. I actually liked seeing a lot of the new planets, and I actually could remember them this time, other than in Rogue One where they would just show like on the bottom of the screen like this planet, and then like that's it. I'm like, wait, what was it again?
But you're saying in the sense of like you can't remember them in a bad way, like they were so forgettable.
They're very forgettable, yeah. And it felt like, for the most part, these worlds, I felt like Rogue One definitely, the worlds felt more inhabited and felt like more dirty and like, yeah, like it had been lived in for years and decades and centuries. The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I didn't feel like it felt too clean to me, in a way. So I really like that in Solo. Like it really does, you do see more grimy parts of different worlds that you can kind of feel like there are people living here and there are people that are just trying to survive. So I really appreciated that. For the actual like actors and everything, I actually liked Alden Ehrenreich as Han. I went in with very low expectations about what he was going to do,
like,
because
really?
after everything I had heard about him having to go through acting lessons and all of that, I was very worried of how he was going to play it. And I really liked his portrayal. He felt like, can I say though that he feels like Han Solo? In some ways, yes, but in others, I felt almost like I forgot that it was Han Solo at times, except for when they said Han.
Han Solo, like, no one can be Harrison Ford, so it's like you might as well just reinvent the character in a way.
True, but
yeah, he really did. He did do his own thing, and I did appreciate that, and you can kind of forgive it for that because he is younger here. Of course, when you see him in A New Hope, he's much more, like, he's been through a lot more experiences and all of that, so you can kind of forgive that. Like, he's still naive to things and he's still learning as he goes along. But the thing I did not whatsoever, what I hated was the first part of this movie where they tried to shoehorn in every little thing that Han Solo to be about or to have. Like, yeah, his name. So we're going spoilers here.
Oh, God.
So we're going spoilers here. Literally, Han enrolls into the Imperial Academy and he's registering. He's like, okay, well, your first name, Han. Last name, or like, is anyone else with you or whatever? He's like, no, I'm just by myself. All right. Solo. Han Solo. Like,
this is as bad as when the fucking Emperor in Revenge of the Sith goes, your name is Darth Vader. Pulled it out of his ass.
Yeah,
pretty much. Han, like Mario, Han Solo. That was better.
You look like a Solo.
It is fucking. I honestly rolled my eyes so fucking hard because I was like, yo, he's just gonna. Oh, Han, you know by yourself, Solo, like as a joke. Oh my god, I've never grown
I'm gonna be
so
completely
fucking
honest.
loud.
So this is where I'm getting frustrated with the Star Wars fans again, because that does sound stupid, yes, but I just cannot believe that after it's 1977 is when A New Hope came out.
Yeah,
it's been what, almost 50 fucking years or 40 years, something like that, and you guys still did not. We just barely found out right now for this movie last fucking Friday or this, whatever the fuck. That's why his name is that name? Like, really? This is horrible storytelling.
Why did it? Yeah, exactly. Why couldn't his name? Why couldn't
built on like?
Yeah, why couldn't his name just be Han Solo? Why does someone have to give him his last name?
And why did it have to be a pun?
Yeah, exactly. His whole it just makes him. This is what happens when you explain more things, or when like you have origin stories about characters. They're not as interesting anymore. That's why the prequels didn't work.
Now, really
I'm
quick,
not saying that this movie didn't work, but
and before we continue, I'm going to give Justin one more chance to see, because I need to know if your internet's going to be good or not. But Justin, you seem to not like what they were saying in that sense. You were like, oh my god, but what were you saying?
I don't. Okay, first of all, am I coming out through okay?
No, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Keep going a little bit, maybe.
Well, I thought he was fine. I could hear him.
Okay. Well, I don't fully disagree with what they're saying. It is, those things are a little corny, because I laughed too when that part happened. Just like, Solo, okay, yeah, sure, fine. Okay.
Play Jason Derulo in the background. You might as well.
Yeah. But
I really, really liked this movie a lot, and I was shocked because I had very low expectations going into this. All the acting was really good in this. Like, everybody across the board, I thought was great. Donald Glover and as such, all the great.
Yeah.
Kind of disagree with Ali. I thought this had significantly better action sequences than either Rogue One or Last Jedi. Like,
Okay,
Rogue One has that.
That's the Jedi, yes.
Let me explain. One has the best battle scene of these, that big giant battle at the end for the last 30 minutes. But I think this one had much more consistency with the action sequences. I thought they were better action for Last Jedi. Very good.
I think I like the Red Room. That's the best action scene in that entire movie.
Yeah, that's the only good action scene in that entire movie.
Yeah.
And I think that one's kind of overrated, to be honest.
You're overrated, man. That scene is fucking great.
Nah, that's still a good scene, but that's literally all the Last Jedi has. Like, everything else is so underwhelming. But
the action on the whole was better directed. Like, cause then I remember it's like,
agree
Ron had really good action sequence in Rush, all the racing sequences in that.
Good, though.
yes, you know what? Yeah, if anything, I definitely agree with you, Justin. I had not finished my point, but I was actually going to agree. Like, I really would love to see another Star Wars film done just directly, just with Ron Howard. No other interference with any other directors, because I really like the direction in this movie. I feel like the cinematography, I know this is going to sound very film snobbish or whatever, but I actually felt like this looks so different from any of the other Star Wars films.
Well,
like,
it's all great.
So much more stylized. Like, no, like you could just, I really like that. Like, there are more, like, the lighting was just like in some scenes, the way it would light on the people's faces, or just the shadows, the kind of like, I felt like, I don't know, it's just like a lot more of a very distinct look to it.
And actually, the cinematographer was
90% of the movie is gray. Like, this is a Zack Snyder
Young from Arrival,
like, Batman v Superman shit, where 90% of the movie is fucking gray. There's a bunch of the war scenes, which is incomprehensible nonsense for most of it, which is supposed to be because it's war. There's so much of this movie that just brought it down. The only thing that were kind of the only reason I enjoyed the movie as much as it is because Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian is the best part of this fucking movie. He's only in it for maybe 10 minutes, but every single second he's on screen is my fucking every line of dialogue he has. Like, I'm like, I want to hear more. I don't want a fucking solo movie because I think that's just gonna ruin it, like Captain Jack Sparrow bullshit. But everybody else, like Akira, I actually kind of enjoyed too. I hated Han in this. I really fucking hated Han in this because I honestly felt like, okay, when you see A New Hope and you see the other Star Wars movie, including Force Awakens, he has a sense of confidence about him. Young Han here is the dumbest fucking person in the galaxy, the most needy motherfucker that has ever lived. And his literally says, "Oh, you're terrible following orders." He spent his entire movie following orders.
Okay.
The only time he fucks up is the only time he breaks orders is when he fucks up, and he doesn't do it that often. Chewbacca is a much more interesting character because they just turn him into a giant raging monster that rips people's arms off, so he's kind of cool. But Han in this is gets to the point where I'm like, how do you grow up to be cool? You seem like the biggest. You seem like you grew up to be Deadpool,
but they
not Han Solo.
They tell you about that though in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, where they keep telling you like this is history. So it's like I feel like this movie was doomed, because I understand where you're coming from, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was, and you're not wrong at all. But the thing is like I was expecting that without even seeing this movie. He better be that fucking way because that's what they told me in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, that young Han Solo is a piece of shit. Like
not in that sense. No. He's not a piece of shit. He's a really good guy in this. He's been being a really good person. See,
that's the thing I hated. Like, it's established in episode 4. This dude's a scumbag. Like, there's so many people after him. He owes people a lot, like a lot of debt and everything. And yet, like, we're in a spoiler, so we can just say at the end, like,
he does become a little scummier.
Yeah, these marauders, or turns out not to be marauders, but actually people that are trying to help those who, like, the Empire, or not the Empire, but like what was the other gangster group or whatever that like they were working for the whole time that was like actually doing these terrible things to the civilization or these people, and they were trying to right the wrongs, and it's kind of like the beginning of the rebellion in a way. So like they wanted to use the supplies that they had captured for this gang group to actually benefit, a wider amount of people or whatever. Like they wanted to do the right thing, and so Han was like, okay, yeah, I'll help you out and like do the right thing and not get paid for it. I'm just like, where is this? What happened to Han that I knew from before episode 4, where all he wanted to do was get paid and everything? Like, yeah, it made him out to always be like, oh well, I'm gonna do the right thing at the end of the day, always.
Yeah. And something that bothers me, and Justin is gonna laugh his ass off, but this origin story is terrible because if you look at something like Gotham, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but mini Batman in Gotham, when you see mini Batman, Bruce Wayne Jr., and he's doing his thing, you get to see, even though he's going to be like, 10, 15, 20 years before he becomes the Dark Knight, you get to see slowly, like, little things he says, how he portrays himself, how he dresses up, how when he's testing out, like, there's a scene where he's playing kind of with fire and he's testing his pain threshold. There are little moments in that show where you're like, I believe this kid can grow up to be the Dark Knight. There is no way that I believe that Han Solo grows up to be Han Solo in this movie. He grows up to be Ryan Reynolds. That's how he feels like in this movie. He feels like he grows up to be Ryan Reynolds. He spent most of the time being a fucking idiot, being a joke, trying to latch on to the hip of fucking Woody Harrelson, who's a much cooler person in this fucking movie, and is closer to Han in A New Hope than anybody else is. And he's just hanging out for the Coltons. The only reason he's fucking there is because Chewbacca breaks him out and he just hangs up for the ride. This movie, it just feels like they don't understand the fucking character that they want to do. And I don't even like Han Solo. And even I was like, you're getting all of this wrong.
What do you feel, Justin?
What's up?
Nobody else wants to say anything. Alan, I only disagree with you one thing in saying, I'm not going to give you any defense. I think you're wrong in most of that stuff that you just said. So,
fuck you.
But at least the only thing I'll say, I'm glad it's making you like Gotham more. If anything happens,
I never said that. I never said that.
Okay, yeah. But I don't fully agree because this is just the first step of Han Solo. I don't feel like this is the complete story of him becoming Han.
Yeah, but
it's only
nobody
6
goes
years.
Normal dude to scumbag in a second. Like, who you are now is like, if you go 10 years, 20 years from where you were, there's a small version of you that you are now. You don't just become, start from a kind of good guy to a piece of shit. That's not how life generally works.
But I feel like he's leading into something else. Like, this is not the end of his adventures. Like, yeah, this is the first part of him getting into the smuggler life. So I feel like Kira really kind of was like, screw you to you, like at the end for him. Like, he really loves her, and then it turns out she kind of is doing her own thing, and then also get screwed over by Woody Harrelson's character, which he didn't necessarily like trust, but at the same time, like, he thought there was like a group forming here. So he's learning very quickly that you should not trust anyone, and I think that's just going to make him a more cold person later on, and then that's the Han Solo that we see at the episode 4.
I just didn't get that though. I didn't feel like that throughout. Even at the end when he pulls but even at the end when he does the whole Han shot first type shit, it didn't feel like that was him even accepting a darkest. There's no point in this movie where I feel that it could. But there's no point in this movie where I didn't feel a seed of what happens. I feel like this movie just kind of goes on of like, hey, I'm gonna be Ryan Reynolds, in real life type shit. And at the end, hey, Han shot first type shit, because that was always the biggest controversy for 20 years because of George Lucas. And I feel like that's the only reason it's in here. I feel like so much of this movie is only made because of a few lines of dialogue. Oh, I did the Kepler run in 12 parsecs. That's the second half of this movie. That's the only reason the second half of this movie exists, is to explain that one line of dialogue.
Was solely made to explain one thing in the whole of Star Wars.
But the thing about Rogue One is, as much as I have a lot of problems with that movie, and I've ranted on the show about that, when you get to see a lot of what's going on with them focusing on the rebels, and focusing on how this is more of a guerrilla tactic group as opposed to a bunch of hopeless idiots going to war, like, you got to see an expansion of the universe. This movie literally does nothing in that, so that's why it pisses me off way more. Where it's like, both those two movies are sold on one line of dialogue. But at least with Rogue One, I got to see some things that are different. With this, nothing that's different. This entire movie has a great color palette. All the action scenes suck. The train sequences, basically the same thing you saw in Homecoming, except without, except you replace, replace Woody Harrelson with, Michael Keaton. Like, it's the same fucking sequence. And it's just, there's so much of this movie that just feels unnecessary. It's the same thing. They're basically stealing the same shit, except one's purple, one's blue.
Now, one thing I do want to ask you, and now this is just me being selfish in my own curiosity, was there an ending that was like Rogue One, where at least some kind of character got to have his horror movie, I wish I was a better fucking film type moment?
It did. Okay, it didn't end, like, Rogue One just had the bullshit where, hey, we survived this whole movie, now let's just pick them off one by one. This was more along the lines of people were getting picked up as the movie went on. So it made more sense in the context. They're like, oh, okay, plot armor's off, everyone dies. Like, I hate that bullshit. With this, it's like, it was more slow progression by the end of it.
But I meant in the sense, like, okay, like, when Darth Vader, and now big spoilers for any fucking movie.
That shit? No.
And the thing is, like, I know there wasn't going to be a Darth Vader in this movie, but it's like, I was really hoping that maybe at some point it'd be some kind of character that has a big, like, I'm a bad motherfucker, fuck everybody up in the room type moment. You know what I mean? Like a villain, maybe a hero, like nothing like that.
I wish it had that. There is a moment in this where somebody shows the fuck up, but to me, I think they're going to make a sequel to this movie. And I'll let Justin say it because he's freaking out. I'll let you say it, man.
Okay, I gotta say, I know I disagree with you, Alan. No, you didn't enjoy it. Man, that cameo that showed up at the end of this movie, not only was it not effective.
Yeah, because your thing's missing. That's why I've been muting you. I'm gonna put you back down. So what was the cameo actually, Alan?
Okay, so I know that Justin really wants to to say this, but I'll go ahead and say it. It's Darth Maul.
Oh yes! Oh, that's awesome.
The problem
that's
is
my favorite character in all of fucking Star Wars.
And I agree with that, but the problem is Darth Maul's a huge fan of Thanos, so he kind of just shows up, says a few words, stands the fuck up, and that's it.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's fucking it. And it gets to the point where I'm like, oh, hey, it's Darth Maul. How are you still alive? Oh, God, they give you robot legs, of course.
Oh, my God.
Because nobody dies in a Star Wars movie. But
okay, Allie, we watch Rebels. We know how this ends.
Do.
Yeah, but for
we already know the conclusion of this character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as somebody that doesn't watch Rebels, and I'm assuming, like, I'm gonna say, maybe 50% of the fucking viewing audience doesn't watch Rebels, that cameo is stupid.
I felt like I was very shocked and surprised that out of all the characters in the Star Wars canon or whatever, like, you're gonna choose Darth Maul for some reason? Like, why is he in this movie? There's nothing that leads to any hint of him showing up. It's really kind of random. As much as I love it, just because it's just validation for so many years, people were just like, oh my God, like Darth Maul's alive, but it's like, oh, he's only in the cartoon, so it's just like, it's not really that valid, but it is kind of valid because the cartoons are still canon. But like seeing him there, like it was like a moment like of, oh, he's actually alive. Like yes.
Yeah,
but
and I get that.
But yeah, it just made no sense within like the story, any of the characters. Like a Force user, a Sith Lord, ex-Sith Lord, I guess you can say, helping some smugglers or like or a drug or like not a drug, but like a cartel or whatever. Like what does that have to do with anything? Even in Rebels, he had a completely different plot or motivation, what he was doing, mainly around the Force. Like that was so I'm just like, well, what does he have to do with like Kira and everything with these people? Like I don't get how this translates to that. I want to see that sequel. I definitely want to see it.
It feels like they're going to. It feels like they're legitimately leading up to...
I want to see it. I actually really liked Emilia Clarke in here. I really want to see more of her character.
About time someone says something good about her. She is... I hate that fucking woman.
She's great. I love her. Like, yeah, she's definitely a great character. And you can tell... I'm really curious of, like, like, when you fast forward and when Han sees her again after he sees her initially like on Corellia when they're growing up, like she's definitely become a different person.
Yeah.
And you can tell like she's had to do some really dark things.
She's more believable if he went from dark than Han did.
Yeah, she is. It is much more believable because just like she had to do whatever she had to survive. So I'm really curious of like what happened.
I got a question because
yeah,
you guys seen the movie, so you guys can pretty much answer this. Does she have the accent like fucking what is it, Natasha from Baraki and Bolingo? Because that's what people have been telling me.
Wait, no, she doesn't have an accent in this movie.
I heard someone was like, "Yo, man, she got like a terrible Russian accent."
Oh no, that was me when I was talking about Sparrow, dude. Wrong movie.
Okay.
No, she sounds the same like she does in Game of Thrones. She's using her regular accent, or even if it's maybe a different dialect. I
saw the character and she had like darker hair, and I was like, okay, so they're gonna go with the Russian spy after that. Okay.
No, like it's something else. So I don't know. I'm very curious of like what plot that's leading into. But I really love her character. Like she can kick some serious butt.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually like I didn't know how it was gonna work because I was like, she just looks a little bit too like, I don't want to say fragile.
She does a little fragile, but hey,
but they made it believable in the movie. So
and for the third time this year, Vision's dead.
Oh shit!
I was so happy. I'm like, yo, man, he's so bad here.
More of him. I was kind of sad he wasn't in the movie.
He played the villain really well.
Yeah, he was actually a very good villain. I wish he was in it more. He's barely in it for maybe like probably a whole of 20 minutes in the whole movie.
Jeez.
It's another one of the movies where I feel that this movie is two different heists, because the trailer sell this movie as one big heist, but this movie is actually two heists in this. There's a train heist, and then there's the end heist. Where it's like as soon as the train heist happens and it fucks up, it becomes another heist movie where they got to get another bunch of people, and that's where the best character in this movie comes in, Lando Calrissian, where like Donald Glover, like this is my favorite performance I've ever seen him in. Because usually in a lot of stuff, like the 5 minutes he was in Homecoming, I felt like he was sleepwalking. From what I've watched of Atlanta, it's like maybe he gets better as the series goes on, but I felt that he was, sleepwalking in it. With this, it's like he has a large range of emotions. He's, funny. He can be angry. He can be sad. He actually feels a lot of what's going. Every line of dialogue he says is gold, and I like every single fucking thing he says. I love this guy so goddamn much. Because I don't even remember Lando in the original. I never even give a shit. I keep forgetting his name. This movie's like I want to see like a sequel where he is part of the cast. Like I want to see a sequel with all these characters again because Lando's the best part of this fucking movie.
Yeah, but
How dare you forget Lando?
Oh, what'd you say, Allie?
How dare you forget Lando?
I'm sorry. Besides that he betrays them in Empire, who fucking cares? I'm sorry.
Suave? How could you?
He was never suave in those movies, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, man, Lando's the reason they destroyed the second Death Star. Get out of here with that.
Lando meant a lot of black people back in the day. All right, he represented.
That is not a reason to continue the character.
No, but moving on though, because like I said, Star Wars, and it seems like everyone's pretty much like meh on the movie. I am curious after you saying meh and private before. I mean, because I remember you told me like, this movie's like whatever the fuck. But after we start talking about this now, you seem to fucking hate this thing. So like in a rating scale, where do you think you land?
Honestly, at first I was thinking stream it, but honestly, avoid this. Like as I was thinking more about this movie and comparing it to Rogue One. Like, there are 2 lines of dialogue that the entire justification for this plot. I'm so sick of the Star Wars fans that are complaining about Last Jedi not having anything original and then want a Boba Fett and Lando movie. It's like, what the fuck do you guys want? Like, this movie, is the only reason it exists is because of 2 lines of dialogue. And you seriously made an entire movie out of that. It's like, what's the fuck the Lando movie going to be? Just, like, as much as I want to see, Donald Glover continue that character, an entire movie about that's just going to be Pirates 4. We all saw what happened when we wanted the fucking character to be the solo movie. It's not going to be as good as when he's part of a supporting cast. All the action in the movie it felt like they almost were about to do cool action scenes, but it cut away or ended before they got anywhere. But at the end of the day, this movie does have a consistent tone. It is consistent from start to finish. Han is a consistent dumbass for the entire part. Lando's consistently cool for the entire part. Kira's consistently, wishy-washy as far as her allegiance is, which works. Woody Harrelson is great in this fucking movie. But it's consistent from start to finish, and it doesn't feel like it got reshot. It doesn't feel like Rogue One where it's like, okay, there are parts in here where you feel like they added
connected. Yeah.
Yeah. This whole movie feels connected from start to finish. With the color palette, with how the characters go, with the dress code, like everything feels connected. But honestly, this isn't worth your time or money. This is just an avoided where it's like if you have like, if you red box this and you got a bunch of friends and you have nothing better to do Sunday night, hey, you're not gonna be bored. But you don't need to go out and watch it. There's no reason for you to see this.
Now, you, Justin, hopefully this shit's working. What would you rate this movie, man? Any closing comments?
Let me just say the rating first in case anything happens. Rent it. That's what I think. But, by the way.
Keep going.
No, we're just waiting for you to keep going, but it did fuck up. But keep going really quick.
Okay. Rent it. I actually disagree with Alan a lot in the sense that I really like Alden Ehrenreich. I thought he carried this movie all the way through.
Right.
He's gone, folks. Yeah, sorry. I love you, Justin. I hate that it's happening to you. Hopefully he doesn't do this in the Rabbit too, because I mean we would like to hang out with us and shit. So, yeah. Now, Ganja, I know I didn't talk to you at all, but you did watch some of it because you had to leave the theater because you were busy doing something.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. I had to leave the theater early. I had to refill my drink, so I only caught like the first 20 minutes, and then I got stuck in the lobby over interesting facts and information. That's what happened.
Exactly. Now, from what you saw, what would you rate it? Just from what you saw, and do you agree with anything that Allie, Alan, and everybody's been saying?
Honestly, like I haven't said much because I can't give an honest review because I only saw like maybe like 10-15 minutes of it. So really, honestly, what I'm saying right now, it's kind of a stream it because I'm not really hyped to go back to and just watch it. I am gonna do it because I'm kind of a Star Wars fan. I want to see what you guys are talking about and see what it is. Plus, I like the fact that because of what happened, I don't have to give the theater my money again, so I get a free ticket when I go back. So with that said, I'm gonna just give it a stream it, but I probably might change my rating to more of a avoid it or rent it, depending on how I like it after I've saved.
But Allie, you are the final say in this, the main event when it comes to this, because it is Star Wars and this is your thing. What would you rate it, and any closing comments?
Yes. So I've been back and forth between rent it or stream it. I'm trying to see if I can, my closing comments, I can kind of decide. But no, I actually really did like Alden Ehrenreich. Like Justin said, I feel like he did carry the movie. I felt like he was doing his own thing. He wasn't trying to be Harrison Ford in any way, and I really actually appreciated that. I felt like, thinking about it now, I wouldn't have liked an impression of him. So I really appreciate that. If anything, I was really surprised how much I really did like him, like meeting Chewbacca in this movie, because I actually really, I was kind of sad that he doesn't do more of the stuff than in the original, like pulling out people's arm sockets and stuff like that. I was like, that's great. This dude's actually really, really strong. Like, that's actually really cool. Yeah, the villain, there really was a lack of like a main villain. I really would have liked to have seen Paul Bettany more. Really appreciated. I really liked his villain. I think he would have been a really great villain if they just showed him more. I love Emilia Clarke. The action scenes, I really did like them, and yeah, like Richardson said, it really was consistent through the whole movie. But I just felt like they were just underwhelming. There was nothing really that memorable, although, like, yeah, the Kessel Run was kind of cool to see. I'll give it that. Also, I would really love to see Ron Howard direct a Star Wars war film, just because, like, this one part when Han is in the Imperial Academy, I was like, dang, this is really intense. This is like Saving Private Ryan for Star Wars right here.
Yeah,
like, this is kind of how Rogue One should have been.
Agreed.
But yeah, so like, if anything, I really want to see Ron Howard direct another Star Wars film with more of his vision and narrative, because I felt like it really could have been something special. But yeah, I just felt that it was just otherwise very lackluster. Like, yeah, Donald Glover was great. Donald Glover, that's right. That's right. I have to stop myself. For some reason, I can't. I have a hard time comprehending name like Donald Glover, Danny Glover, Donald Gleason for some reason. It's also my name. I'm like, why do I've said that like 3 times to my mom. I was like, Donald Gleason. I'm like, wait, nope. Why am I thinking of a redhead dude? Okay, anyway. But yeah, Donald Glover, I liked him as Lando a lot. I wouldn't actually say he was my favorite person in the movie, although I would like to see him again. I just don't think that he really owned the role like completely like I thought he was. Not to say that he did a terrible job. I think he did a great, good as I think you could think he would do. But anyway, yeah, I just feel like this isn't really. I feel like this is a Star Wars movie down the line. As they make more of these every year, you're gonna forget about it. I though at the same time, I would really love to see another Han Solo movie. Like, I actually found this very interesting. I liked that it wasn't like they didn't have a lot of stuff going on. There wasn't very convoluted of a plot. Much more easier to follow. I like the more smaller scale. I like actually seeing more smaller stories within the Star Wars universe because it actually makes it feel more big. I like that there were no Force users, no lightsabers to be seen. Yeah. I like that. I really like that more greediness. I actually really like these Star Wars stories more than I actually like the episodes now. I feel like they're actually giving directors more leeway to do, like, at least cool styles and stuff like that you haven't seen before in the universe. So I actually really, I'm actually kind of looking forward to these Star Wars stories, even if I'm not like the most interested in this, like, the story aspect of it. I just really like what they're doing with the world more.
It's a different experience too. So
yeah. So yeah, I think, you know what, after all of that, even though I guess I wouldn't run out to see this in the theater. I think it's worth a matinee price. I actually really, you could enjoy this from the comfort of your home. You're not really missing anything by seeing it in IMAX or 3D or anything like that. Damn. So I would say rent it. I would still say rent it because I really did enjoy what I saw, especially if you're a Star Wars fan like I am and you really like world building and, you know, more of the universe. I think you're going to really enjoy this. And you'll like the Darth Maul thing, even if doesn't make any sense. But
And
so
that's
yeah,
the thing is making me want to go see. I want to see that fucking ending. Like I love Darth Maul. Like he's my favorite character of all
Nick,
this.
we're not
It's
gonna
not
hype
worth
it up
it, dude.
for you. It's not literally. It's not like he does anything cool.
So it's basically
It's
the
not like
Godzilla
Darth
roar at the
Vader.
end of or not
Literally,
Godzilla.
like what Alan said, it's Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy. Sits in a chair, and a hologram, and that's it. So don't get your hopes up. It's nothing like he puts on his lightsaber through the hologram, so it's not like he can even do anything, and then that's it.
Okay,
like,
because I was gonna go over there and then I was gonna bitch at you and they're like, "Oh, Al, you said it was gonna be Darth Maul. What the fuck?" Like,
Don't get your hopes up. It's not gonna be like a Darth Vader thing in Rogue One. Like literally, he does nothing. But it's just cool to see him acknowledged again in the universe. So, you know,
if they didn't give him the spider legs, that would have been stupid.
And by the way, BBM, thank you for helping me out, BBM. You're saying it's on YouTube, Nick. Go look that shit up, man. You know about this life. You know about this piracy.
If you saw the end
You're
of
out
the
here in the streets.
If you saw the end of the first Avengers movie, you saw the Darth Maul fucking cameo.
Yeah, probably. But here's the thing, though, folks. Back to blue, and now Alan's gonna change his shirt again. He probably won't.
No.
No, fuck you, no.
Show's almost over.
You should take your shirt off. How about that?
Yeah, you should actually do that. You should do that at the end of these shows. Just take your shirt off.
You will take off your
No,
shirt.
that'll break our
Let's see
third rule.
Come on, let's see it. Not you, because you're so small. Like we won't see it.
You don't have control, right? I could ruin the show by kicking you.
Oh,
no, man,
that
YouTube is sexist. They don't care about man. They just want female titty in their shirts.
By the way, just so you know, because of the way we do the broadcast, and you should know this already, Alan, is that if you do kick me, it's just gonna be me talking. Like the show won't end. It'll just be me like going, "Wait,
Oh, really? You should have told. You know, you shouldn't have told me that, right?
No, but that's the thing. Like if you did that, I would just be talking. Like you just hurt the fans. They want to hear my voice only.
Yeah, but they hate me already. You probably think they hate me more.
Aw. No, but the thing is, though, people, we are getting the fuck out of here. But we are going to go into the Rabbit Call, which is an MCA Rabbit where we all hang out and watch movies and stuff like that together. And the thing is, once we watch the movie, too, and we will be doing the thing where every 30 minutes we'll give you guys another chance to vote for a different movie. Oh, look at them dance moves. Looking sweet, looking sexy. But here's the thing, though. That's weird. Hey, actually, now you got to get me for harassment because I called you a compliment.
Yeah,
but I wish I was over there.
Don't compliment people anymore. Just call them assholes.
Yeah, exactly. In control for that because 2018, folks. But the thing is, though, no hate crimes here. No, so we're gonna get you guys in the rap and everything, and you know, obviously we're gonna switch movies every 30 minutes in case. I mean, if you guys vote for that, but mainly too, if you don't like the movies that we chose, obviously we can always just go in there and watch some YouTube together too. One thing as well is there is rules for that shit. We don't have them written down, but Ganja can tell you them rules with the after hours. Why don't you tell them peeps about them rules, boy?
Pretty much with the after hours, it's the same thing, kind of just keep it down to comments. Try to have the conversation about what we're talking about within the subject of the actual movie or the video we are watching. If we are just watching something about Star Wars, don't be talking about Star Trek. That'll make no sense, and that's just rude for the Star Wars fans. That's irresponsible. But besides that, there are hardly any rules for the after hours.
Exactly. Yeah, you get to go on there, you get to talk all this shit. You can even show your titty if you want to, but don't tell nobody else you're showing titty because that'd be bad. And actually, no, don't show your titty. And Mr. Alan Birdman, I usually have Ganja do this, but I'm going to test out with you, sir. Tell him about that Facebook page that you and Ganja run, that you guys do all these shows on, sir.
Alrighty then. So for people that checked out yesterday's show, we played Battlefront 2, the original one, because EA figured calling two games Battlefront won't confuse anybody. But we played the original 2005 Battlefront, so check that out if you're a huge fan of Star Wars. We literally have a Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan fight near the end of it, so be sure to check that out. You'll enjoy that. But yeah, check out the Facebook page. You'll see where we do the Untitled Video Game Show, where me and Ganja play all sorts of random video games from all time periods. You'll be able to see the Amino page, where we'll be putting information as far as the Untitled Video Game Show, various polls. There's a chat that goes 24/7 to mostly make fun of me, and also post pizza to make fun of Nick. And is there anything else I missed?
Nope, there's nothing you miss. And yeah, obviously look us up. It's Chad Tag. That's our username for the whole Amino Apps thing. Definitely go in there. It's cool as shit. I try to go in there as much as I can, but sometimes I get busy. But these motherfuckers are in there all the time talking shit about me behind my back because they know I'm not reading the shit. And
That literally never happens.
I do. I tried my best.
Yeah, right, you fucking assholes. And also, too, on Wednesday, we're doing more community questions, so I'll put a post on the, if you guys have any community questions, ask us anything, because Ganja, what do we do when he asks us questions?
We answer them, and we also attack chat.
Oh yes, we do. I don't know. I fucked that up. It's a new thing I was trying. We didn't we didn't match mentally.
You threw a
We're a
curveball.
professional show, by the way.
It's okay, but hey,
A curveball in my mind. I saw 2 balls, so I tried to hit 1.
but you know what though? You went right for my dick, and I appreciate that. So 3, 2, 1.
Attack!